All right, let's see if he managed that. Okay, we're back. All right, all right. So Tyson's gonna come up and bring everyone up. Real here, guys. Give me a moment here.
That took the other one. So I'm going to keep the beeping up just for a little bit so that I can um, do all of your consents and do all of your questions and everything. I like to hear what baby's doing when talking. So,
Hey, who's that talking?
Tyson,
All
you've been
right,
off mute 3 times. Get it together.
all right, all right, guys. Yeah, bring everybody up, guys. Yeah, bring everybody up back up. All right, if Naughty still haven't found his way back, that's why I try to explain it to him real slowly. All right, so all right, guys, let's bring everyone back up and chat. We can go ahead. Like I said, Naughty wasn't that bright, so I mean, we tried it. We tried it. Maybe because he's dark skinned.
I'm dead. I'm trying not to laugh. I said, did he take that to mean his complexion or his
I'm over
intelligence?
here
Which one?
crying.
That's I say, get a bless your heart for real.
Y'all not gonna make me go to hell laughing at y'all.
Oh yeah, you going to
Rachel,
hell. You going to hell. Everybody
Rachel,
going
what
to
you
hell.
say? Rachel,
Chad, I was
I'm
like,
not sure I caught that either.
I don't think he's talking about your skin complexion. I think he's talking about intelligence when he says when he said you're not too bright. He wasn't because he said, "Are you talking about because I'm dark?" No, that's not what he meant. That's not what he meant.
Who followed him so they can
Jonathan
ping
going to
him?
hell. He's diabolical.
oh my God. Okay. JB, can I play the video?
Yep, of course.
Okay. I'm not letting you
Was that the mayor being arrested?
Mm-hmm.
Chat, do you have the video of the congressman's press conference afterwards? Do you have that?
I sent you a
I
bunch of
think
things, Chad.
Rachel sent me this one. I think she sent me that one too. I know you're not still over there and you're not over here looking at the video, but okay.
I saw the video. I saw all of them.
Mm.
So anyway, guys. So once again, my man. So yeah. So that's that gentleman before he left. When we talk about guys, the reason it's important to stop to deal with migrants due process. First of all, migrants due process is guaranteed in the Constitution. All right, they say it doesn't reference citizens; it references persons. Okay, it reference persons. And so, once again, we cannot advocate give our due process like just like say okay, let's give up that, let's okay, that part of the Constitution doesn't, that's not important. All right, once we start saying stuff like that part of the Constitution isn't important, what happens, folks, unfortunately, is once we do that with one thing and we do it with one group, it starts to go out, it starts to affect other groups. And that's something that you guys gotta learn how to fight for sometimes. It's not fun sometimes for me to fight for someone, that may be a known wife abuser or whatever, or a known whatever, drug dealer or pedophile or something like that. I want them to rot in jail, and I want them to get what they what. One second, I'm almost done. One second. Uh, I want them to get their just due, their just desserts, but I don't want them to get it at the expense of me. A lot of you guys look at shit that don't affect you at all, and y'all look at it and like, yeah, fuck it, don't give us due process, and this shit has nothing to do with you, but you're advocating not to have this person get his rights. And then what you don't realize is by if they're successful in not giving this guy his rights, and they're successful, and you were like one of the ones that was like protesting for that shit and like calling for that shit, and now when you need that fucking right, it may not be there for you later. That's what you guys don't get. I'm never gonna be okay with someone getting some shit taken from them because I'm angry or because a bunch of other people are angry. I don't care. If you're a baby rapist and murderer, I want you to go to court, get your justice, okay, and then get your ass hung. Fuck, you don't even have to make it to trial. They can kill you while you're waiting for trial, okay? I'm talking about the people, the inmates in the jail or prison could kill you while you're waiting for trial. But at least you were on your way to getting your due process. That's all I care about. I don't want that due process taken away. With that, I'll end.
It was in the same way.
All right, Luis, what were you about to say before that?
No, I said when we begin to give up our civil liberties for the pursuit of some greater justice, we don't get that liberty or that right back. A prime example of that is the Patriot Act, and with regards to our privacy, we were scared. Congress knew we were scared, and they passed the Patriot Act. They said it was a temporary thing, and yet it's been extended since the towers fell.
9/11.
Since 9/11. It's been extended under every presidency, and it's gone even further in overreach ever since then. And we've never gotten our privacy back since we gave it up.
Agreed. 100%. 100%. So that's why I'm sitting there laughing when everyone's sitting there like, oh man, fuck that. They're migrants and they this, that. You know, guys, some of the people that you guys are saying fuck it, they're migrants, they're green card holders. And the only crime was they may have said something that the administration didn't like about the administration. That is an attempt to silence your freedom of speech. We give all this shit up, in a moment. But don't worry about it, man. Why are we like when we look at this shit, like you guys are like MAGA is so short sighted. Trump is a person, guys. He's not a movement. He's not a movement. He's a person. And a MAGA movement will not be able to sustain without Trump at the top of the ticket. But you guys are okay with all this reckless shit going on. And then when he's out, and he will be out, no one's gonna get he was a unique being. He's a unique being. No one else is gonna get the kind of breaks that he got. Like, okay, so whatever. That no one else. Look, Mike DeSantis tried to out Trump. And what happened? Shit, he looked like he about to go to prison. All right. So when you look at this shit, all right, when you look at it, it just like supporting all this craziness is not gonna work. That's all I gotta say. Look at Mike DeSantis. He's the most Trumpian person we know. You know, and yeah, you look at the governor of Georgia, Brian Kemp. Trump called him every name in the book, and then it Brad Ratzinger. I think Brad Ratzinger is a crazy. I know these fucking people. He's the Secretary of State in Georgia. Wouldn't certify that the election and Brian Kemp. And now Georgia, they want to try to win that Senate seat. They're eyeing that Senate seat. And they figure if they get Brian Kemp to run, he can win that Senate seat. Brian Kemp turned their ass down. Trump, everyone went down there, try to talk him into doing it. And called him on the phone and everything else. And he's like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not running. All right. But once again, like I said, that the reason Trump is trying to put everyone in place the way he's trying to put everyone in place, because he thinks that the next administration isn't going to come out and the same way he forced everyone in place, the next administration is going to come out and remove all of their fucking asses. He's trying to put people in place so that MAGA lives far beyond him, and he thinks that they won't be able to be removed. Anyone else that comes in office is going to clean the fuck out of them, going to put them all out in the streets. And you guys gonna be looked at as like the way the Nazis are viewed, and everyone's gonna be claiming that they weren't part of the movement. But don't worry, we got debate the news for all the people, all the lovely ones that came on these stage and was bold enough to talk about it. That's all I gotta say. So
Jonathan,
I'll turn this back over to you, chat.
Jonathan, you left out two. You left out two. You left out
Who
Byron
what?
Donalds and Tim Scott. They looking really sad these days.
Yeah, yeah, yep.
Man,
Yeah, Donaldson is that. Well, Trump gave him the blessing where he's going to back him up for the Florida election. Um, and Tim Scott, he just Trump just dumped his ass. He just dumped him, left him on the side of the road. Left him on the side of the road.
Byron Donalds is trying to run for governor in Florida. That's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, Trump is going to endorse him.
How does that work for anyone else that Trump that he's endorsed? Just
Huh?
saying. How does that work for any of the other people that he's endorsed? I mean,
Nah,
Wisconsin
the
got
people he endorsed that has typically have done well.
okay. I'm
Don't
just saying,
because
it's
I hate to say it,
it's
but the proof
Florida.
is in the pudding.
But let's be honest. You really think Byron Donalds is gonna get Florida? Just
Florida's a
saying.
good state.
it's red as hell, but Byron Donalds is, well, yeah. I mean, we'll see. Maybe they'll surprise me. Maybe some way people that still say colored and things will actually vote for him. We'll see.
Majority of Florida vote down ballot, red down ballot.
You guys, Florida used to be a swing state. So did Ohio, and there's one thing that happened that switched it over. Citizens United. At the Citizens United, it turned. So with that, um, yeah,
I would be surprised if he makes it past the primary. If he makes it past the primary, like I said, we'll see.
But
We need to do a room on Citizens United, JB.
You really do, because
That
most
would
people
be
don't understand
good.
how that works.
the Governor Kemp thing, Jonathan, the Democrat who is in Senator Ossoff, he is hard to beat. You have to have a really good track record to beat Ossoff. He have done so much things here, and in just my opinion, he have done the most for Georgia as a senator, and yeah, just unreal. And I land.
They're trying to get MTG to run. I'm like, oh, let's do that. Yeah, just so you can lose your Congress seat. That would be amazing.
MTG can't beat Ossoff.
Well, we know that. I mean, but just let her try, because I mean, she has to leave Congress. Let her try.
She said she isn't.
uh,
She's not gonna run.
there's
doggone
no.
it.
I don't think there's no law that says she can't run for both at the same time.
She has to leave Congress in order
You
to
have to leave.
do it. That's why she won't do it, because she knows she'll have zero jobs, because her district likes and everybody else can't stand her.
I think she's trying to run for governor of Georgia. That's the place she's trying to run.
She will not have to leave for that, does she? Or does she? Was she?
Yes, she does. Only Florida has passed that law. Well, I know that in my hemisphere that you don't have to leave your current position. Florida just updated that law for Ron DeSantis in the last run.
I
So
just hope
when
I just
go
hope
ahead.
John Ossoff doesn't run. I'm hearing rumors that he may actually throw his hat in the ring for the Democratic primaries. I just hope he doesn't.
The Dems need someone with charisma. They need youth. They need youth. They need charisma, and they need white male.
I agree wholeheartedly, JB. I hate to say it this way, but it can't be anybody but Shapiro or Newsom. I don't see anybody else that has a shot.
I see Shapiro. I think it's going to be Shapiro. That makes sense. He's already prepped for it. Like, we need to stop just grabbing people. We need to grab people that are already prepped. Shapiro would be perfect because he's already fucking prepped for it. Like, that's one thing we need to stop is, like, we need to go back to building up our politicians so that they're actually ready to run and not just pulling someone.
I know people are talking about Westmore, but I just don't see it. I just think they need to go with Shapiro or Newsom.
I say Shapiro.
Now Westmore needs to sit this out. I'm sorry,
Westmore, no, absolutely not. Mm-mm.
but you know what? You gotta realize, like Obama, he got in there because Bush. By the time it was the Bush administration, it was so fucked up that anyone that Dems would have ran would have won that one.
But also the fact is, like, Obama was also an organizer before that, senator, state senator, national senator, all that other shit. Like, he was organized. Let's be clear. On top of everything else, he was organized. He was organized
Anyone they
the
would have
country.
ran against the Republicans that year would have won. Anyone. I'm sorry. People were ready for a change because Bush put because that Bush economy, it was just everything. It was the banks were collapsing, everything was collapsing. They needed a change. So
Yep.
I truly believe that.
Yep.
I think a perfect storm happened to elect a Trump though after on Obama, and it wasn't in the same manner.
I
It
agree.
was
Hillary leaned into that her too much. I'm with her, and
right.
the FBI director Jim Comey
Mm,
did that dumb
Homie
shit.
did that.
that
Yeah,
was dumb as shit.
all that shit happened. Comey regrets that. Comey,
He
Mhm.
does.
You
I know
know,
he regrets that. He
I don't know what the hell he was thinking. Like, Jesus Christ. But now we're back here again. Yay.
I think there's a real shot that it could be a complete flip because after 4 years of the direction we're headed in, I think it could be another perfect storm. Um, and I think that the Republicans are not in love with JD Vance. And I think
Oh,
somebody,
absolutely not.
I don't think they're in love with JD Vance. I think they just took him. And I believe that somebody that's really hungry could make a whole mess in the Republican Party. Somebody like a Bannon or a Stephen Miller or somebody making a power grab like that. I think they could make a whole mess and sink the whole ship
Then why would they? Why would they go further right?
because they are convinced they are right. They believe that they're doing the right. They are absolutely inundated swimming in the Kool-Aid. They believe that without a shot of a doubt. They are convinced. And let's just be honest.
Yeah, but
JD's not the most ambitious guy.
I mean JD is soft.
Right.
Sorry, even though he's the Grim Reaper, he's too soft. Stephen Miller is too hard. So, like, I don't know. Marjorie Taylor Greene is too polarizing, right? Like, they could get. I think Marco Rubio would be. And actually, when I was in undergrad, yeah, now my undergrad degree is in poli sci, and we did mock presidential debates, and I was Marco Rubio. Just want to say that. But now that I think about it, I think he would be a great president.
But you
I
know
said it
what?
here first.
You know what?
Little Marco.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you,
Okay,
Chad, but I don't think MAGA's going to accept that. I think they want to go harder, right?
Man, Marco has the stamp of approval from Trump right now. Like he has he's sitting in 5 different roles. Every time Trump is in that Oval Office, it is JD and Lil Marco.
Yeah, but that's now. Remember Rex Tillerson? He was the smartest man on the planet for 2 years.
Marco's playing his card right, man.
He is. He's not saying too much, right, Jonathan? Like Marco Rubio, I mean, he's Hispanic.
That
Okay, let's
Cuban is smart.
what? Well, I don't mean it like that, but I mean like like him being the president. Like I mean that could the Republicans could see another run if he is president. I don't even know why they didn't make him vice president. To be honest with you, I think using Vance as a DEI hire, I think it helped. Right. I think Mike Walls was a horrible VP choice. I think that actually hurt Kamala. But Marco Rubio, to me, if I were a strategist, I would prepare if they haven't already, because he's already been prepped before. And I'm speaking as a Republican, but I'm not MAGA. I would throw my hat in for Rubio next. If Trump doesn't try to do 3 terms, which would be a horrible misstep because I think Democrats should go get Obama. If we're
right.
gonna do 3 terms, then we
Yep.
should go get Obama.
Recognize.
Ooh, now that
The understanding of the third term is him running as a vice president and switching roles after the election.
that would be the rumble in the jungle. I would pay money to see that, chat.
Wait, what?
That's what he said. Yeah, that's what they're saying that he wants to do is have Vance run him as vice president.
And Vance run as president, and then
So
Vance step
no,
aside.
Vance is president, he is vice president, switch roles after election. That's what their
that's fine.
theory is.
No one's
Uh,
saying that. Where'd y'all hear that from?
that's the theory of a third term, sir. Without saying someone is saying it, that's the theory of a third term. Having someone running as the president and President Trump as the vice president after elections, the president is going to step down and the vice presidents take over, which is President
Oh,
Trump.
right.
That's
Saying
the
how could he
theory.
finagle his way in there, right?
Yes, that's the
I thought you
theory
were saying
of
they were saying that's the strategy. Okay.
That's not possible because the Constitution stipulates that to run for vice president, you must be eligible to be president. And because he is already a two-term president, he is not eligible
We're
to
not
be
saying
president again.
we're not
Therefore,
saying
he
that's
it's
can't
illegal.
It's a
fight.
conspiracy theory.
Nobody's saying it's illegal.
that's
What?
not that's a conspiracy theory. Other than the fact of
That's in the
that's what they're trying to change. The problem is they want to change the Constitution. That's what I'm saying. It's not going to happen. But we're saying this is what they're attempting to do
No,
right now.
they would have to change the
Yeah,
Constitution either way in order for even that theory to work.
exactly. Which is not
Right.
going to happen because they have to go through
So
so much, and then
so
two thirds
both
of
Yeah,
the
theories are null. Throw it all out the window.
right.
It all requires a conspiracy within what 66% of the states.
yeah, it can't happen. I heard they were trying
Exactly.
to go after it. The vice president thing makes sense. I guess he could try to do that. I heard they were going to do because I guess the Constitution says like you're not allowed to run. Uh, the most is two consecutive terms, and they're like, well, technically it wasn't two consecutive terms, so we can do our second consecutive one here. That's what I thought they were. That's what I heard they might have been trying to do. But look, he's not going to run in 2028. He's just fucking with y'all. He's not going to do that.
They had an hour-long show on it on Newsmax, which was interesting, and I've heard the ones that you guys brought up and a couple of other ones, and they had some lawyers on there and some constitutional guys and blah blah blah, and they laid out how many different ways they could try to go about it. But yeah, nothing was
Like
legal.
find loopholes. They were saying.
Yeah, loopholes, but nothing
This
was
is what we
legal.
call in
And
the Beltway as, and I freaking lost my freaking
yeah,
fielding. They're fielding the theories, right? Like this is think tank
Throwing shit
without
against the
paying
wall and see
for
what
it.
sticks.
Right.
Right. It's like no, throw it out there, see exactly. Throw it out there, see what sticks. Field some things out there, see who are the bright minds behind it that can make it happen. Then bring them in to the blue room or the oval and have the conversation. Right.
it's the
I,
same thing
I
that
think
Dick
they're
Cheney did.
fielding it, y'all. It's not just they just messing with us. I don't think that they're doing that.
It's the same thing that Dick Cheney
They're,
did when he was vice president. He brought in a lot of constitutional lawyers and a lot of people to actually figure out how much he could operate as a vice president and how much he can run. That's what he
How is
did.
it any different than any single presidential or executive office having constitutional
No,
lawyers when
no,
they
no,
want to
no,
do
no,
anything?
no. Understand what I'm saying. Dick Cheney wanted to operate as a vice president like none other ever has. They started before they even started the run because the conversation that he had with Bush was, hey, you know what? Oh, first of all, he told him no. Then when he actually agreed, he said, well, this is what I need. I need the wherewithal to actually define the office of the vice president the way I need to. He said, hey, man, go at it. And he literally brought in a think tank to find out how he could redefine the office and operate and have powers that was never ever exhibited by the vice president. Go look it up.
Yeah, that shit was wild. It was like, yeah, Did you ever watch that movie Vice?
Yeah, I've seen that.
That movie Vice with Christian Bale, like they kind of lay that out. Like they were finding, he's like, yeah, I'm not gonna do it unless I get to fucking do whatever I want. And then they were finding out, they're like, oh, it's not torture if this, and we can call it this and not call it that, and like it was fucking crazy. They just found ways around everything. That shit was nuts. Did y'all hear the theory that Trump can become like Speaker of the House? Because you don't have to be in Congress to become Speaker of the House, which means you're third in line. And then if the president and the vice president, like whatever, go away, then the Speaker of the House becomes president, and they can make Trump Speaker of the House.
Yeah, I heard about that dumbass theory too.
Say that again.
There's a theory that he can become Speaker of the House. He wants
Yeah,
to
because
do.
like you don't have to be in Congress to
Oh, okay.
become the
I was like,
Speaker of the House.
I understood him. I didn't understand you, Danae. I was like, what was that? Oh, I'm sorry, my nose.
I didn't know. Did y'all know that Speaker of the House is third in line? I didn't know that.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah, secession
that's
order.
why I was so nervous about if anything happens to any of these people who we have in line. Because it's just like, okay, so who do we have next? Damn, who do we have
It was
next?
like
Ah,
Nancy
damn.
Pelosi was third in line.
We got right. So freaking Johnson is third in line. I'm just like, oh yeah, just keep them full safe because we can't.
Y'all don't like JD Vance?
Please,
I do.
Who called him a
I
DEI
do.
hire?
He is a DEI
Chadwick,
hire. He
he
is
is.
absolutely a DEI hire.
What do you mean by that DEI
He's a
hire?
veteran, honey. We're DEI.
No, I'm saying, what do you mean by DEI though?
I just said it. He's a veteran. We're DEI. We are a protected class.
Like you're saying they gave him they hired him because he was just
He's a
as good.
veteran. Yeah. Yep, I said it with my whole chest. Don, check your back channel. Yep. He's DEI. Yep, they pulled the same thing they tried to do with Mike Walls. He's a veteran. But it backfired on them with Mike Walls because he is also a liar.
But he got rid of all DEI stuff, so he didn't need to hire a veteran.
Dude, he's still DEI. He's DEI regardless.
I thought DEI was more for immutable characteristics.
Nope.
I feel like you're saying he's DEI because he was unqualified to be vice president.
He was unqualified to be vice
So are you
president.
saying that DEI hires are unqualified people?
What are the qualifications for being a vice president?
Pete Hegseth was also is also not qualified to be in his position. Neither is Tulsi Gabbard.
Is
But
it the
because they're
So are you
but the
qualifications?
saying that
only
DEI hires
qualification why are y'all triggered?
No, I'm asking. So are you saying that DEI hires are people that are
I'm
unqualified?
trying to say what I'm saying. That would help.
I feel like you're saying DEI hires are people that are unqualified.
No, that's what you believe it is. That's why you keep questioning me.
But I guess that's why I
That's
asked
what
the
you're
question.
saying.
That's
I
why I
said
asked the
what I
question.
said.
What are the qualifications for vice
He is
president? You
a
didn't answer that.
DEI hire because he is a veteran. I don't know why y'all don't understand that. This is
But
why
is he qualified or is he unqualified for the
he's
position?
unqualified.
he is a
Okay, how
DEI
is he
hire. Chat did not
unqualified?
say that. I talked to her or whomever said that. So go ahead, ma'am.
I mean, you did
I
say he
said
wasn't
JD Vance is
qualified for it.
unqualified.
Yeah,
Oh
I didn't ask. I didn't ask for help. But go ahead, you got it.
no, JD Vance is absolutely unqualified.
Yeah. No, I know that's your point. I'm asking, back it up. What are the
Back it up.
qualifications for? Yes, what are the qualifications for being a vice president? Or like, you just made a statement, but
Uh
why?
huh. So what is it? What? So what makes you think that he's actually qualified? I'm confused. What has he done? Like what has he
I'm
done?
not the one
What
making a
has he done?
claim,
Because he was the one. Because he was the
ma'am.
senator. He was senator for how
Ma'am,
long?
I'm not
He was
making
a
a
senator.
claim.
He was a senator
I'm
for
not
how
making a
long?
claim here.
He was a senator for how long?
No,
He was
I
a senator
think
for a few months.
Ma'am,
He was a
I
senator for a
ask
few months.
again,
I like. Oh no, wait. He
what are
was a
the
senator for a few.
qualifications for president?
Stop. He was a senator for a few months, right? What did he do before that? Where else was he in politics previous to that? Outside of being a senator for a few months.
So the qualifications for being a vice president, or you had to be a senator for more than a few months?
Where else was he in politics at all? I'm trying to figure out where he is qualified.
Can you point me to where in the Constitution for the qualifications of somebody to be vice president or president that it
Well,
says that you have
president,
to
we
be
already
within the
know
Senate?
president. The qualifications for president are a mess. We need better qualifications for president because that's why we're in the position that we're in right now. But because you should definitely have at least some kind of political experience. You should
I feel
definitely have
like
some kind of
you're
law
just kind of
experience.
talking
Oh
around
no no
things.
no no! Stop it, stop! Because what I'm saying to you is the fact that this gentleman wasn't even in office very long, but as a senator before he became, and
I
because for the
understand that's
U.S.
how you
president. So
feel
then,
he's
hold on, wait, stop, stop, stop.
unqualified.
And so, as opposed to people that actually have qualifications, that actually have experience in politics and know what the hell they're doing, this guy was sit up there. He was an author. Yes, he was a veteran. Okay, cool. But outside of that,
So how
like,
many years
what
in
does
the
he have to do?
legislature do you have to be in to qualify to be a vice president?
Obviously, not long enough with this fool. What are we talking
Well,
about?
if you had
That's
an
the
ideal
problem.
world, what would it be?
At least 2 years. At least. Because you have to
Two
know your
years
freaking
or two
job.
terms?
2 years at least. He wasn't even done. He
Why
wasn't even. He
not
was
three
still 8 months.
years? Why
I'm
not
sorry.
3 years?
I said at least. At least was what I said.
Yeah, yeah. I'm saying the at least should be 3 years or 4 years. I'm saying they should have
So,
more
all
than
right.
four
So,
years.
yeah,
Why not?
definitely,
Why
definitely
not
not
that
under a
value?
year because he just got in there, right? He just got in there.
He was never Trumper before. He used to hate Trump.
That part, all of that,
Well,
Okay,
he
That
was. He was a
skip
Trumper.
the ring, all that shit.
that
Like,
still
there's
doesn't
so
go to
many.
the
What?
point. That still doesn't go to the point of qualification. You haven't answered that question at all. You've made
He's
the
not
statement.
qualified.
Ma'am, you've made
Period.
the statement that you think it
It's
should
not.
be
I
that,
think it's that I
but
know he's
Well,
not
that
qualified.
becomes
hey, can
subjective,
I
right?
build a bridge
yeah,
here?
that's purely subjective because the only
Not
qualifications
really,
for being a vice
but okay.
president are laid out in the Constitution, and it's age and nationality
Yeah,
requirements.
can I build a
Well,
bridge?
what I
Can
was
I build a
asking,
Getting
bridge?
us right.
Correct.
what I was asking is that you guys were equating DEI to someone being unqualified. So if they were a
No, don't
DEI,
use
We're not. No,
guys.
we're
No,
not.
Don't
no,
you
Nope, we're
don't.
not
no,
not.
Chat.
And
Sorry,
No, we're
Chat.
not.
there is
No,
no
we're not.
we. There is no
No, no,
we.
we.
Chat,
No,
you did
Well,
I'm
say
you
not.
And
guys
there's
said he's
no
a
use
veteran.
guys because I sat down.
Chat.
Yeah, but you
No.
guys said he checked off the
I got
veteran
back on
box.
my pew with Sheree. We on the second
Yeah,
pew.
can
No, I said not Chat.
That's right.
Sheree, where your
Right.
pew at? You got
Absolutely
your
not.
snacks?
No, diversity,
Second
equity, inclusion
pew.
does
You
All
not.
got your
right.
peppermints?
Okay, we ready to go.
Well, no,
Diversity,
but
equity,
because
and
you guys
inclusion does
mentioned JD
not.
Vance, you mentioned
Diversity, equity, and inclusion,
Hegseth.
and never, ever. Diversity, equity, and inclusion does not mean that you are unqualified. That's not what it means. That
But
just
then
means
you
you get a
said
first
JD
shot.
Vance is a. But you said JD Vance is a DEI hire and that he's unqualified.
No, I said he's unqualified. That means he specifically is unqualified.
those are
Yeah,
two
Chat,
different
but
when
you
you
things.
called him
You're
a
you're
DEI
specifically
missing
hire.
the point. DEI
Chat says
hire
yeah,
means
true.
that it's
Chat says
diversity,
yeah.
equity,
I
and
say he's
inclusion.
unqualified.
It's two
That's
different
different.
things.
It's two
DEI
different
hire
things.
does not mean
He says
qualified or
I say he was
unqualified.
unqualified.
It just
I
means
will
that
say
you're a
it
protected
several
class.
times. I have no problem stating that the city is unqualified for what he's doing right now, and he's proven it
Do you think he's a DEI
several
hire?
times.
Yes, he's a protected class by being a
No, he's
veteran.
the did it. Go ahead.
okay. Okay,
Go ahead.
can I
Go
ask
ahead, Malcolm.
can I volunteer chat to explain the DEI hire so that Mr. That the
Please,
gentleman
Please.
can get an
Malcolm, please
understanding of it.
explain it.
Thank you, chat.
I thought her definition was what she thought
It
the
wasn't.
anti
It
DEI
wasn't. Can you
definition
let
was.
Malcolm explain
Oh,
it?
everybody else
No,
wants to jump in. Go ahead.
No, no, it wasn't that. So let's have chat
I
give
mean,
you
she
a
specifically said that's how you guys think about DEI as somebody
That's
who's
not what they
unqualified.
no,
said.
she did
Well,
not
that's
you
say that.
exactly
guys,
Let
what
Chat
that's what you're
answer.
She
putting
did
words
not
in his
say it.
mouth now.
Daniel.
Let's
So
not
let's
do
do
that.
this.
you
You
guys actually
Give
guys,
cut
chat.
her off. Hey, hold on.
Let's
You
give
guys
chat
actually
the
cut her
mic.
off and
Let's
didn't
give
let her
chat the mic.
land. Right.
yeah.
Let her land. Give her chat the mic so you can get a better understanding of what she's saying. All right, go
No,
ahead,
you
chat.
got.
Yes. Thank you, Jotham. I said JD Vance is a DEI hire. That's what I said. I said he's a veteran. We as veterans are DEI. That was the second thing that I said. What y'all don't understand is that in a lot of political positions, what gives candidates leeway, what makes candidates stronger, is your military service, our veterans, which would make him a DEI hire because one of the reasons why he is a strong candidate is because he is a Marine veteran. That's why I said he is a DEI hire. Real simple.
And that's a protected class, right, Chat?
That is absolutely a protected class.
So you think JD Vance is qualified, and the only DEI part is just that
Absolutely.
he's a veteran.
I do believe that he is, but he is still a DEI hire, which is my point. People automatically think that DEI means that you are not qualified. You see how y'all just did that back and forth? And it actually showed your bias, that they have made you believe that DEI means that you do not qualify for the position.
We didn't think that. She said he's not
No,
qualified,
no,
and we
no, no,
attacked that
no,
point
because
directly.
your immediate question was, so you think he's not qualified? And
We
that's not
asked
in, and I
why he was a
didn't,
DEI
that
hire.
was not, I never said anything about him being
We understand
qualified.
your
I
answer.
said
Your
he was
answer was that he was a protected
DEI.
class
I said
because
he
he's
was
military.
DEI.
Yes,
Your
because of
automatic
military.
response to that, because you were bewildered and betwixt, because you asked me, oh, wait, so you think he's not qualified? Nope, never said that. Mm-mm. Because you ought, because they
No, I,
made
I
you
think there's a little
believe.
contortion here. I
They
asked
made
why is
you
he a DI
believe.
hire?
Well, if you don't remember what you said,
Do we have a
then pray
recording?
about it and come back.
Do
Okay?
we have a
Thank
recording?
you.
Because it'd be interesting to go through the recording.
You may want to do that.
I asked you when you said that
I'm not doing this
military.
with you,
I
but
totally
have
understand.
fun. I
I
said what
appreciate
I
it.
said.
I know.
Yep.
I get it. I get it. I
I
get it. You
said
said
what
what
I
you said.
said.
I got
And
it.
I think you
So
keep getting confused with someone else that chimed in because I
no,
muted up a long time
no.
ago.
I definitely remember 2 points.
But you got it.
When you said your point was that he's a DI hire because he's a protected class vet. I asked you then. I thought a protected class was purely for immutable characteristics. You said no, and then she piped in and said he's unqualified. So I think you might be getting your timeline a little bit wrong. But then again, you know.
You
Then
never
again,
use the
what?
word
Stand on
immutable.
it.
I thought you weren't gonna engage. So
Then again,
I left
what?
it there.
Oh,
I
now
I
you're.
was
I get
I
it. You're
I
scared.
was
That's fine.
purely oh
Go ahead,
okay.
GA.
I was purely reciting exactly how it went. You seem to have gotten the timeline a
Then
little
what
bit
are you
wrong.
pushing back against?
I'm not. I'm pushing back
All
against
right, well, you can mute up
a
then.
false
Thank you.
description. I'm
No,
pushing against
he
a
is
false description,
absolutely a
but
DEI hire. I'm
fine.
sorry
I
that
mean,
you
that's fine.
showed your ignorance and it is
I
on display.
it's incredible. You think that that's
It is
fine. I don't
incredible.
even care. But
You shouldn't.
the more interesting point was where the other lady said that he was unqualified. That's where the interesting point came in because now she had some false notion of qualifications for vice president when it's clearly lined out in the Constitution.
Okay,
But Mr.
now
Manuel,
that that's done,
she
I
also
just
stated quite clearly that he is qualified. Chat clearly stated that. So then going
Hold
back
on.
and forth
She
is
also said this is how you guys who think about DEI think that DEI is unqualified. That was her point right before she went quiet, and the qualification discussion happened. But she was operating under that assumption to begin with, when that assumption was never there, except for on her part. Oh, and the other
No, it
lady
was
who
actually
was
no,
there
in
on.
the
no,
No,
group.
no, 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 no,
no.
no,
That's
no,
not what.
no.
No,
Yeah, hold on.
Go ahead.
She clearly said what she said, and then you guys replied to that was, "Does that make him not qualified, bro?" And what fucked it all up, respectfully, was Denia came in and cut her off. Had she not did that, you probably would have got a clearer understanding as what she was trying to say, right? But I think
So
that's where it went
yeah,
wrong.
no.
So yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
you're getting a little bit confused here because
we all heard
I
the
asked
same
her
thing. You're the
purely
only
when
one
she
that's
made her
saying that.
statement concerning what she thinks DEI is, which is hiring somebody in a protected
But
class.
you're on an island
I
by yourself, sir. Everybody in here
I
heard
don't
the
give a
same
shit, dude.
thing, bro.
I don't give a
Okay, so
shit.
guess what?
That's why I'm saying if you want to make the
So
case,
if
if you want
you
to make the
don't
case that
know,
I'm
no,
wrong,
hold on, bro. Hold
please
on,
play
bro.
the
If you
audio.
don't care, right? If you don't care and if everybody's telling you what we all heard, then it's clear maybe you just want to content yourself. I don't know. So I'm not gonna engage in that with you, but we all know
That's
what we
fine.
heard, bro.
Yeah. Well, then you know what? You're more than welcome to hear whatever you want to hear. Ultimately, just because a group says one way doesn't necessarily mean it's true. So I'm not going to appeal to some group authority. But if you want to, you're more than welcome to. I'm not holding you to it.
Well,
So,
Daniel,
so
even if she did say that, I didn't hear. Even if Chad might have said that unqualified equals DEI, she just said now that no, she didn't say she doesn't believe that a DEI hire is unqualified, and
Yes.
that
Yes. I agree.
Denia came in and said that he is unqualified. And she doesn't think that he's a DEI hire. So let's just move on with that.
Well, see, that's the whole thing, is that this unqualification aspect happened from her butting in, and I agree with you on the timeline, is that she butted in and maybe she had a special plan, but in reality, that special
No, she
plan
was asked
was
a
never down the road.
question. You forgetting that Mike was also in the conversation. And you know who is eerily quiet right now and letting you die on this hill is Mike. Cause
Well, I'm
Mike
just waiting to
asked
jump in.
Danae, and your ass want to jump in front of a bullet, and you don't even know
Why are you trying
what
to stick
bullet you
me to
jumping in
people?
front of.
Why are you trying to stick
I
me to people?
understand
I
that
say
this
what I
is
say on my own, and I
but
hold
Mike is
my
not
own
saying
responsibility to a
anything,
people.
and that's why you're on this vine by
What vine?
yourself.
I don't give a shit if I'm by myself
You
or
may
half
should.
naked. It
You
doesn't
may want to
matter. It
rethink
really
that
doesn't matter.
because
Why?
you're
Because
arguing something
hmm
that does not exist.
what's
Mike
that? What am I arguing?
Mike, if
What
you will
doesn't
be
exist?
if excuse me,
She's
please have
talking.
some couth and be and like control yourself. Don't be a
I'm just
thug
trying
in
to
here.
ask for a little information.
Okay,
You're
well
making a
don't be a
claim here.
thug
Back
and
it.
let me finish. Okay?
Ah.
Don't be a thug. Let me finish.
Should I get offended for somebody else
You
on
should
behalf?
don't be a thug right now. Let me
Yeah,
finish.
just for the record, I feel offended for
You
somebody else.
should
But
be
Seriously?
offended. Because that's what
Really?
I meant to
I thought
do.
you feel cool.
Because that's what I meant to do.
Hey guys, let's hear him out though. I mean,
Let's hear,
we
Jonathan, if you were not in here, you don't do that. Don't do that. Don't undermine me like that.
I'm not about anyone. I'm just saying.
You really
We
are,
want to
because
hear
I was
Chad
literally
today.
speaking. But if you want to do that, y'all got it.
What he said, once again, I came in. All I said is like let's hear people out. I haven't. I say that all the time, on every instance. That's been my mantra for 4 years.
Yeah, but they interrupted Chad.
They did.
I don't know who interrupted who. I didn't tell anyone they had to stop. I just said let's hear people out. I didn't tell anyone it's not to talk. I didn't tell anyone they can talk. I'm just saying, and I didn't try to put the order in who was speaking. I'm just saying let's make sure we allow everyone to complete their thoughts. That's all I said. So I'm gonna go back on mute.
Yes,
Yeah,
lady.
no,
You need to
basically,
let Chat finish
chat
what
was
she's
on
saying.
your side.
Chat, can you finish what
Chat, you
you were
want to finish
saying?
what you were saying, Chat? Did she leave?
Chat did leave.
Okay, so now we won't hear the rest because they were cutting her off.
Well, I believe what she was just trying to say is what my man said earlier, and everybody heard the same thing, even on Clubhouse, on CH. We heard the same thing that she specifically said. He's a DEI hire that makes him a protected class. And that's what she said. She didn't even speak to qualifications. The other young lady came in and she said he's a DEI hire and she feels that he's not qualified. And the bridge that was missing is that the gentleman that was arguing, he was talking about the qualifications of a vice president as far as him being over 45 years old. He has to be a natural born citizen. That's what he was stuck on. The young lady was speaking that he is not qualified because he doesn't have the experience. And they just went back and forth. And that's the bridge that I was trying to make. I understand you. I understand the gentleman was just saying he had to be 45 years old, natural born citizen, yada yada yada. But the young lady was saying he has no experience. That's all she was trying to say, and that was not even worth the 45-minute fight at all. That was her opinion. I also think he's woefully unqualified to push a buggy in Piggly Wiggly. But that's my opinion. As far as the legal qualifications of his vice president, he is qualified. But so is Donald Duck.
So I feel responsible for all of this.
You are, Mike. It's all your fault. Shame on you. Mm-mm-mm.
And Mike, the Constitution does not say that President Trump cannot run for vice president.
Yeah, I didn't say that. That wasn't me.
Okay, so somebody said that he cannot run for vice president again, and because when we were discussing the concept, or the theory of him running for vice president or being installed as vice president and having someone run as president, and then after elections they switch roles. Someone said he cannot do that because the Constitution prohibits that, which the Constitution does not prohibit that.
Yeah, I didn't think it did either. Actually, I heard that too. I didn't think it did either. 'Cause there was that talk that Bill Clinton was going to be Hillary's vice president. And I was like, I mean, honestly, if you think about it, it makes a little bit of sense, right? Like, why wouldn't Barack Obama be in the Senate right now? Just because you've been president twice doesn't mean you can't be a politician anymore. So I've never really actually understood it. Like, why don't ex presidents get into the Senate or get into Congress or get into anything? It's like they just become presidents and they're just like they don't do it anymore. I
I
always thought
guess,
that was
They're
interesting.
tired. They're stressed out. They go in with black hair, come
Yeah,
out with white hair or no
right.
hair. Politics is stressful.
Oh, Obama was the right. Did y'all see that picture? There's like a picture when Obama got in office, and then 8 years later, it was like, holy shit,
Yeah, white
it was
hair. That's what I'm
crazy.
saying.
I guess after holding the highest office in the world, what's next?
Well, that's the
There's
other
no.
thing, right? Like, what are you supposed to take a demotion almost? You know? Yeah, that's the other thing.
Obama said he was in the negative as far as his wife is concerned, so he had to go fix that.
What do you mean?
Wait, yeah, what does that mean in the negatives?
He said that he was in the negative as far as his marriage is concerned because his marriage took a toll while he was president. He said he defrauded Michelle of so much time with her husband, so he owed her that time back. I don't think he'll ever get back in politics because he was very explicit. He said that at least 4 times in 2024.
Oh, Michelle will be all right. He tripping.
You know, Michelle did not want him to run as senator, and did not want him to run as president, and did not want him to be
And she
reelected.
Oh,
should have.
really? I
Then
didn't
she
know
should
that.
have divorced him.
No,
Period.
that's not how that works. You know better than that.
Really,
How is it
Danny?
supposed to work?
Really?
Danny,
If it really is gonna
Danny.
bother you that much, then leave him. How is that mind-boggling?
So
You can't
he
divorce a man for ambition.
No, he's saying like you didn't want. You're saying she didn't want him to run for senator, but he did. Okay, so what? And she stuck beside him. So the complaint isn't valid. If it was really a problem, you should have just left him.
Okay, name me
and
one
and and
president.
and, and also if he didn't come he, if he didn't become the president, right, Michelle Obama, she will not be nobody, so
No.
she need
Don't
to
say
Right.
stop
that. Don't say
saying
that.
that.
Don't say that. Don't finish that sentence because she was.
It's true.
Yes, she won't be
Stop.
nobody,
Yeah,
she
Stop.
won't be
that's
Stop.
nobody.
that's a
Please don't
that's
say
that's a
that.
Nobody would know who Michelle
That's
Obama
Please
was.
don't
that's
say
a
that.
fine line,
That's
fellas.
Oh man, I
no,
hate
that's
when
not
people
true.
are
Because
You
she's been
don't
trying.
know,
sarcastic.
Hold on,
United. You
wait.
don't know
Actually,
for
I
a
do.
fact.
Actually,
You
I do.
don't know she would
Because
be
she's from this club.
famous.
Because she's from
No,
this
You're
you
not
club.
supposed to be a
don't.
No, hold
bestseller if
on,
you
You
hold on,
don't
don't
hold
know.
on.
speak on what
Hold
ifs.
on. I do know. That's the thing, though.
How do you
That's
know she
that's
would be famous without Barack
hold
Obama?
on, time out.
How? How?
You're saying
We
that she
won't
would
know
be
Michelle
nothing.
Obama, nobody will know her, so she need to stop
Like
That's funny.
saying
what?
that.
That's
That's the
funny.
dumbest viewpoint you
That
could have. That
that's
woman
hilarious.
basically made more money than him, hired him into his first job, had a higher position,
Yeah,
higher role
but
And
than
Oh
she
he
look,
did,
still
than
got
Kenny.
he
into
did, than he
education.
did. And yes, she was married to him. She's not political. But everybody still want her to run for office and keep asking her to run for the presidency. She keeps saying no. It's okay that he's political and she's not political.
This is
So
all
no,
after
she
the
did
fact.
not like
After
politics
he
at
made
all.
her.
It has nothing to do with him being her husband or her being his wife or the choice
now
they
she
made
got
to
it,
have
so she can
children
say whatever
and
she
be
wants.
together. So at the end of the day, it's dumb for you to say that about her because she made him into exactly who he is because she had more going on for herself than he did.
Well, that's what I found
Exactly.
weird. Like you're saying that
Thank
she
God
made
for
him run for
somebody
senate
that's
and made
well
him run
read and
for president,
educated.
but then now she gets
Thank you,
mad at him
ma'am.
because he
No,
was
no
running
one
for
even
president.
says she made him. See,
But,
y'all
but
just make stuff up as y'all go along. Who said that she made him run for president or senator? Who said
no
that?
one said
No
that.
one
No,
just said that.
that's what he
That's
just
just dumb
said.
Mike
I
wanting to be
know. What?
that's just Mike wanting to be relevant, Danny, because nobody
That's
said
right.
that.
Nobody
Right.
said
Yeah,
Nobody
that.
because
said
what
that.
the
What the
heck?
hell?
I thought I heard
Now,
you would have
now,
never
now,
ran for
now,
Senate.
now,
No, that's
nobody
not what
can
they
wipe.
said.
No,
Now,
that's not it
nobody
at
can
all.
wipe that title, first lady, so she can say whatever she want. That's why she's saying that.
And her husband can say whatever he wants, and that's why he's saying
Yeah,
what he's saying. And
but
that's
you were.
why he, as the president of former president of the United States, can make whatever comment he wants to make, whether you like it or not, whether you want to disparage
Yeah,
her
but
or not.
Obama never
Her
say
husband
he
is not
regretted
doing.
being the
Her
president.
husband is
Obama
not
never
doing
said that.
that. Her husband, right? Because that was his ambition, and that's her husband. So she can say whatever she wants to say, and he can say whatever he wants to say to her.
Yeah, it
Who
seems
the
like
fuck are you?
she
Who are you?
she's a
You're
woman of
nothing.
her
You're a
word.
nobody.
She speak her
You're
mind.
beneath. You're beneath Michelle Obama, even without President Obama being the president. You're
So
beneath her.
so
And that is
so
not someplace you
so
want to
did I
be.
go? Did I ask her for money?
Yep.
Nonsense.
What
No, the
does
only
you
nonsense
asking
is
her
you
for money got to do with it,
with your
man? You just
ignorant
said
Right,
views and
something
what?
stuff.
really
You don't
crazy,
have her
bro.
intellect or her statue.
Okay, well, what are we talking about here, guys?
He's disparaging Michelle Obama.
Obama for
Okay,
no reason.
okay.
Trying to say the
Michelle,
people, trying to say the people
Justice,
she's a
do
public,
nothing
she's a
without
Justice
him.
public,
brought
she's a
That's
that
public
bullshit.
out.
figure. She's a public figure, and though it may not be to your liking, people have their views about different public figures,
And
and
he's
it,
gonna
Jonathan,
No,
they
and
were
he's
asking
the
gonna
about.
and he's
initial
gonna get
thing
my
that was
That's
response.
state.
the initial thing that was said was somebody on Clubhouse saying that Barack Obama felt like he owed Michelle Obama time back for not spending as much time with her as he should, I guess, in the White House. And I made the statement. I was just like, man, he'll be all right. He was running the country. She'll be all right. And then it got into a whole another discussion. But
No,
Well,
you
this
actually
is
said that
crazy.
she should have divorced him. Let's start
Yeah,
with that
that
part.
too. I
So
said,
at the end of
okay,
the
you can
day,
add that
if after
on.
he's no longer the president and he said, "This time I have now, I'm going to redevote it to my family and have quality time with them because that didn't happen while I was running the country for 8 years." What in the hell is wrong with that?
I think she's depressed from her mother dying. That's why she's saying some
That's just
things.
stupid because her
what
mother
the
died well after she left. After they left the White House, so that's dumb to say.
Yeah,
Wouldn't you be
Yeah,
depressed if your
what
mama
what
she
died?
I
been
don't get
coming
that
Wouldn't
up
you be
part.
with a lot
depressed
of
if your
things.
mama died? Wouldn't you be
Hey, yo,
upset about your
JB,
mama died?
whose man is
Fucking
this, man?
dumbass.
yeah, period. Who the fuck? Like what?
The
Why
one
would you
part
say
that I thought
that?
was the one part I thought was wild, and Jonathan, you can even help me here. They said I thought I heard this. I want to say they said that that the only reason Michelle Obama is famous is because of Barack Obama, and you guys disagreed with that. I agree. I think that we would none of us would
Well,
know who Michelle
what do
Obama
you
is if it
know about
wasn't for
No,
her.
Michelle
I agree
Obama
with
and
that
About
Barack
too.
Obama's history? What do you know about their history
Well, I know that
from the beginning? What do you know?
Oklahoma State, right? Then he's in Chicago. But I thought,
uh-huh.
look, and again, I don't want to misquote you guys. It's
No,
just,
what do you know about their
There you
history?
go.
well, I was just telling you, right? Oklahoma. Am I wrong with the Oklahoma State thing?
Just what do you know? Just say what you know.
Oklahoma State. They met when they were younger. Then
Uh-huh.
Trump. I mean, sorry, Obama gets into politics, and I don't really hear anything about Michelle. Right? Obama's the senator. Obama's
Yeah,
this.
okay, just
Obama's
stop
that.
right there. You don't even have the history of their life, their life trajectory. Just stop.
But
yeah,
that's the
yeah,
point, right?
but
Like
Michelle,
the point
Michelle,
of the conversation
Michelle,
was that we wouldn't know
once again,
Michelle if it wasn't
people
for
are
Obama.
allowed to speak the way they feel. We don't police what people say. You can respond to it.
Well, that's not feelings. That's he's stating what he knows. So he's stating facts which are incorrect.
Okay, but okay, then you can correct them once they're done.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to say any facts. I was saying that the conversation was that none of us. Someone said nobody would know Michelle if it weren't for Barack being president, and you guys were like, no, Michelle was actually more. I don't know if you said more famous, but Michelle was actually known before Barack got into politics, and I was saying that I did not I had no idea who Michelle Obama was until Barack. So
You
I
didn't
don't
know who
know.
Barack Obama was until Barack. Let's
Right, but I
state that.
certainly didn't know who Michelle
Okay,
was.
there you have it.
Well, what?
Huh?
That just proved the man point. You just proved his point.
Like I said, he didn't know Barack Obama.
I don't think any of us would know who Michelle Obama was if Barack was never president. That's all I'm saying.
Why does it matter?
She can say that, right? Because she know you cannot raise the history or anything. So now she can say whatever she want. If she used to make more money than Obama, it doesn't make any difference. Now they have more money than before, so she can say whatever she want. So Michelle or Rachel or whatever, I respect you. You speak a lot of facts, but today is not your day.
So basically, you're saying erase everything that happened in their marriage and with their relationship before he became president. Got it.
No, that's not what we're saying.
That's not
Yeah,
what
that's
we're saying.
basically what you're saying. So you're saying that the fact that she was the vice president of community and external affairs at University of Chicago Medicine, that's not important. She was associate dean at university. That's not important. She was the executive director for public affairs in Chicago. That's not important because none of that stuff is worth
It's
anything.
not
Not to
important
mention
to
she
who.
had. Not to mention she had a law degree and she already was getting ready. I'm not done, and she was already actually had a office waiting for her at one of the most prestigious law firms in Chicago. None of that's important because hey, she was just little Miss Betty Crocker waiting to pump out some kids and stand barefoot in the White House. Okay, whatever. It's disingenuous,
Nobody
it's
said that.
disrespectful.
Nobody said that she's insignificant. They were just saying she wasn't. Nobody would know who she was as when it comes to fame. Like again, stretching points. This is so annoying, but
Yeah, like there's a plenty of high-powered attorneys that I have no idea who they are.
yeah, exactly. We're not diminishing her importance as her any of her accomplishments. There's a great accomplishments. We just the world wouldn't know who she was. But again, who cares? I agree with Ann. Like, I don't get why we're talking about this. Who would be known for who would be more famous or who wouldn't. My point was back to the person who was talking on Clubhouse is I saw all that talk when she was talking about how she hated her husband and stuff like that. She didn't want him to, but it's like you stuck beside him. It's like you want us to feel bad for you. Like you talking about that's not how divorce that's not how it works. To just divorce them. People are doing that all the time. They don't like somebody or don't want them to do something in the marriage and they don't want to be a part of it. They divorce all the time. If
Name me
you
When
stick
did
one
she
around
say
for
she
me for
hated
the
president.
her
love.
husband, Danny?
Name me one
What
When has she
president
ever
that
said
got
that she
she said
hated
divorced
she
her
hated
husband?
while
him.
running.
What
Girl,
are
Name
you
me
kidding
yes,
me?
one.
no, you're delusional. She did not
I'm
say
about
that.
to pull up the clip.
Go
Oh
ahead
Rachel,
and
my
pull up the
goodness.
clip. What she talked
Rachel,
about was being in a long term marriage, and throughout the marriage, there are ebbs and flows, highs and lows. And sometimes you don't get along. Sometimes you don't like each other, but you hang in there and you fight for your marriage and you fight through.
thank you.
Say contextually what she said.
Rachel, please, if she regret being the first lady, right? All the benefit and all
She
whatever she
Yeah,
never
you're
said
benefited
stupid.
she
Don't
from,
talk to
regretted
me.
she
Don't
should
mention my
bring
name
it.
because she never said that she
You are
regretted
stupid.
being the first lady. That's not
You
what
are
she said.
stupid.
you're making up stuff. That's not what she said.
I'm sorry. She didn't say hated. She said couldn't stand him. If we got to be technical, she said she couldn't stand her husband.
Are
In
you
what
are you married,
context?
Danny?
Big.
No.
Mm.
Does it
No,
make any
you know I'm
difference?
not
Does it make a
married.
difference?
I was
Okay,
just
so
up here and said
go
I'm.
talk to
What does
some
that have to
married
do with
people who've been
anything?
married for a long time and ask them if what she said is factual in marriages.
She get whatever she want,
You
right?
can
So
ask
now she
me.
can say
I've been
whatever she
married
like.
Yeah,
17
let's ask
years.
Barth. Does your wife say on to her friends that she can't stand you sometimes in your marriage?
Tell her friends that she can't stand me?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck no.
Thank you.
And you know that how, Bart?
Well,
Are you with her and her friends when they're
Everyone loves
talking?
Bart. Look at his face.
American women
I'm just
speak
asking
their
I'm
Bart.
mind,
trying to
right?
think
If
how
she
she
if
would,
she
but
didn't if she couldn't
my
stand
wife
him,
doesn't
right?
like
He
me.
she would have left him a long time
Can we
ago.
let Bart
So
Not
I
answer
true.
17
questions?
years.
Not
And
true.
I was a fucking gutter drunk for like 15 years of our. No, that's not right. 11 years of our marriage.
Thank you.
Get the numbers right, Bart.
Well,
Done.
I
Hi,
can't. I'm
Bart.
dyslexic. No math after 9 o'clock. Respect the spectrum.
Boss,
Fuck.
you
Respectable
don't
women don't do
It's
that.
6.5 years hadn't had a drink.
Danny, Michelle Obama is more respectful than you ever be, honey. Keep living, keep living, keep living. You don't hold a candle to her pinky finger. Sorry.
Just because she's more
Oh,
famous
that's
than
not
me?
very nice.
Yeah. Just because she's more famous than me?
Well, I
but
mean, for
Danny, to your
now.
point, you have highs and lows in your relationship. I've been married for 21 years, and there are times where you will always love the person, but there are situations where you don't like the person.
And I would
No,
never speak badly about him ever. Even
There you
earlier
go.
today, I said I was no longer in a relationship with him. And y'all were all spitting out these lies and said I didn't say nothing bad about him. Because
that's
that's what
right.
a sensible person does.
Good for you.
But
Yeah, I mean, I've
I think you're missing the point here.
John
Um,
AM. Have you ever had a
Oh,
full?
you are.
what, Bob?
Go
I
ahead,
think a
Johnny.
lot of y'all are missing the point here because, for one, you guys make it sound like a divorce. You could just say, "Hey, I don't want to be with you anymore," and that's how the cookie doesn't just crumble like that.
when
You
Does in
know,
Los Angeles.
then
no, it actually doesn't crumble like that, man. That's what I'm saying. Some of you guys clearly, no shade, haven't been married because it definitely doesn't go like that, right? Some states, both parties can agree to it. In other states, a judge has to grant that. You can Google, ask Siri that. You know what I mean? So it ain't that simple as just walking away because you don't like something about somebody you've been married to forever. It ain't. It's not that easy.
And I would love somebody to find a president that was in the middle of his campaign and his wife divorced him, or was thinking about running for president and his wife divorced him, or was in office and his wife divorced him. I would love for somebody to find that president, please.
Yeah, they do stick beside them, but also they remain mute. They don't go around saying that they can't stand their husbands. That's my
She didn't.
point.
No
She
wife.
didn't say that while he was in
Hillary
office.
Clinton will never say that to Clinton.
He didn't. She didn't say
Hillary,
that while
Hillary
he
got a
was in
whole
office.
scandal with Bill and never said, I hate that man.
She didn't say that while he was in office. Why is that difficult to understand? They're now
Even right
outside of
now, she will never
office.
say that. And now,
And
she will
Bill
never say
and
that.
Right.
Hillary
Thank
Clinton
you.
has said a lot about Bill after they served, after they're out of office. So did
Did
Barbara
she
Bush,
say
for
she
that
couldn't stand
matter.
him?
For so did Barbara Bush, for that matter, after they were out of office.
It's cheaper to keep her.
So Michelle didn't do anything that any first lady hadn't done after they served.
So just to give context real quick here, I think this whole conversation, and correct me if I'm wrong, Obama, we were talking about, I said I didn't understand why some presidents don't end up becoming senators or whatever, whatever. And then it was, well, the stress of the office, which is totally understandable. And then someone mentioned that Michelle, or no, I'm sorry, someone mentioned that Barack said, I need to go focus back on my marriage because the 8 years I was president, I kind of put it on the back burner. And I would like to go focus back on my family, my marriage, which is 100% commendable. And then I think another person mentioned that, or someone said, like, well, why didn't Michelle just divorce him? And Obama could do this. And then that's kind of where this went sideways. But then it kind of went to, well, Michelle was the one who made him run. And then I was like, whoa, whoa, wait, wait, whoa, whoa. And then there's a lot of stuff said that I never knew. But I think the whole thing started was that if she didn't like him being in politics, she should have divorced him. If I'm wrong there, I'm sorry.
No, you covered it quite well, and that was the absurd statement.
Say that
Well,
again.
I said that was an opinion statement, which I vehemently disagree with.
She has enjoyed Air Force One, a lot of benefit,
Okay,
everything,
okay.
and now you coming to tell people that you couldn't stand him. Without him, you will never enjoy that kind of privileges.
Right. The best selling books, the first lady title, right. None of it.
Okay, well, obviously she didn't value that's not important to her. Family is, so she's happiest where she is now.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
I said, obviously, did you read her
No,
book
that's a
at
lie.
all? Did you read her book at all? Obviously not.
I don't need to
Go
read her
read
book.
her
It's a
book,
lie.
then
She
come
can say
back.
whatever
Go
now.
read
She
her
can say
book
whatever.
and come back, and we can have a discussion about it. Because it's incredibly disingenuous to have a conversation about an opinion that you're woefully informed about and have not done any research. Again, I'll say what I said 2 nights ago. I don't talk about real estate because that's not what I do. But I do talk about stuff that I've actually read about.
I know you're on Clubhouse, so I don't know your name. Is this
Yeah, this
GA?
is GA.
Oh, what's up, GA? Would do you think it's a fair statement saying that, or how should I ask? I'll just ask you like this: do you believe that anyone would know who the average person not someone who's familiar with their past. The average person, do you think they would know who Michelle Obama was if Barack never became president?
I believe that you said the average person. I would
Yeah, like
believe
someone who's like not from Chicago or knows like that. Like it's just the
oh
average person.
somebody that's not from Chicago, not from
Yeah, like someone
Illinois,
who doesn't
not
know
in
about like
lawyers,
Barack
racists,
and
things
Michelle's
like
like
that.
things.
Probably not. Probably not. She would
Uh,
be famous in very influential circles and rich people circles. She'd be well known, but most people don't know most rich people. So
Right. I agree. I think the first lady title kind of got her, and then she did the school lunch thing, which kind of got her out there. And you know,
So would people know Barack Obama if he had never ran for president? Same
no,
question, GA. Same
no.
question, GA.
uh I believe Barack Obama probably would have been
No, no,
a
no, not would have, because
global
we could do a would have with Michelle.
I'm
If Barack Obama never ran for the
I'm
presidency,
answering your
would
question.
people outside of Chicago know who he is?
Yes, I think they would.
I would say no to
You,
that.
but you think they would based on what he could have done if he didn't run
If
for
he
the
didn't
presidency?
run
But we're
for,
talking
if he
about
didn't run,
who he was
yes.
prior to running for president, not anything futuristic.
No.
Because that's
I
the
would say
same
no to that
question he
also.
asked you about Michelle Obama,
I,
not about anything futuristic. About would people outside of Chicago know who she was if her husband had never run for
yeah,
president? So if he had never run for president, would he be known outside of Chicago?
absolutely.
I would say no.
Yes, absolutely.
I would
No,
say
he'd just be another senator.
Absolutely. He would
just
be
a
well.
senator. Here's the thing: how much of you guys on the stage know? What's his name? Um,
Anybody on this
Exactly.
anybody on
Right
this
there.
stage know
Exactly.
Jasmine Crockett? Anybody on this
That's a
stage know
great point,
Marjorie
Jocelyn. That's
Taylor
a great
Greene?
point.
Neither one of them have run for president.
there's a senator. There's a senator in Georgia that is shaking up Georgia. His name is Ossoff. If he
Right.
if he didn't go in the runoff in the election, the last election, how much of us would know him?
Do you know
Nobody.
Marjorie
He'd just be
Taylor
another senator.
Greene?
Right.
Know
Exactly.
her?
Right.
It's the same thing with everybody
Do
else.
you know
If you're
Marjorie?
not in the center stage, nobody would know you. You'll
Do
just
you
be
know
known in your
Marjorie Taylor
state.
Greene? Do you know her? Do you know
Who's that
her?
name?
Marjorie Taylor Greene. Do you know her?
Unfortunately.
Because she's made convert, dude.
Has she run for
There
president?
and here's it. There's people
She's
still
made
in
a
Georgia.
spectacle of herself.
But
Right.
And there's people
has she
still
run
in
for
Georgia
president?
still ask, who are you talking about?
So you don't know
Yes.
Marjorie Taylor Greene? Is that what you're saying?
There are people in Georgia still do not know her.
I didn't say Georgia. I'm asking you, sir. Do you know who Marjorie Taylor Greene is?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Do you know who Jasmine Crockett is?
Yes, I do.
Okay. My point is, neither one of them has run for president, and they have just been senators. And my point is, just as many people who know Marjorie Taylor Greene, just as many people who know Jasmine Crockett, the same amount of people, I, in my humble opinion, think it would be far more that would know Barack Obama if he never ran for president. Period.
So
Well,
would
neither
Barack
one of those
Obama
women
be
are
out there?
senators.
Politician.
Would Barack Obama be out there loud like Jasmine Crockett or Marjorie
I,
Taylor Greene? Is
Thank
that
you.
No.
is that his
I
disposition?
absolutely.
Because see, that's how they got the limelight because of the voices that
Ex-
they use and how they use it. But if that's not his disposition, then you can't say that people would know him in
It's
Good
my,
point.
comparison to them because of how they carry
it's
Exactly.
themselves and
my
how they act.
opinion, and I believe that he would be
Exactly.
making just as much noise
It's a
as
very good
Jasmine
point, Michelle.
Crockett. That's
Dude,
my
I
opinion.
met Miss Crockett this year. This is the only how I know of her is this year. Not
Well,
last
bro,
year.
there's 50 senators, right? There's 50 senators, two from each state. I mean, I'm sorry, 100 senators, two from each state. We don't know all the senators. We don't
Yeah,
know.
I
We
agree
don't know.
with you. We don't
And
know
Marjorie
all
Taylor
of
Greene and Jeremy Crockett, they're not senators.
They're Congresswoman.
I think I would agree with you, Knight, but the early 2000s, it was a different time. Like comparing Barack Obama to Jasmine Crockett, like Jasmine Crockett, people know her because of social media. Like, who knows?
Correct.
It's a completely
Well, let's put it
different
this way: when Barack
aspect.
came on the scene, did anyone know who Barack Obama was when he came on the scene? Like none of us knew who the fuck he was.
He'd only been in Congress for 2 years, seriously. But if he had stayed in Congress as long as Tip O'Neill, he would have been just as well known as Jasmine Crockett. because he would have made the same kind of noise. He would have been the same on committees. He would have been calling Republicans to the carpet. He would have been doing the same exact things. Yes, he has a different disposition and a different delivery, but he would have been doing the same exact things.
Well, I would argue with Kamala
It would.
Harris. Like Kamala Harris was a senator, and until she became the run for president and the vice president pick, I had no idea who
But
Kamala Harris was.
he didn't actually
I
I had
hate
no
to
make
give
the
you
clue.
same
guys this
noise.
mic drop right here, bro. But the truth of the matter is, Rochelle and Jothan is right, bro. And the only reason why we even know who Barack Obama is, respectfully saying this and not even trying to bring up any type of racial issues, is because he was the first black president, bro. Had that been an average Joe guy, you probably still wouldn't remember who the hell he was running. Okay, so
Correct.
let's not act like he'd have been this star-studded guy. Because to Rochelle's credit, bro, that's not his swag. He's very cool, calm, collected guy. He's not out there. He's not doing too much. He's nothing like a
He doesn't
freaking
ruffle feathers, right?
Donald Trump. He's nothing like, you wouldn't know the guy, bro. He'd be the fly on the wall. You wouldn't see him there if you were sitting next to him.
100%.
Hundred percent.
I disagree because
You wouldn't know. You wouldn't
Okay.
know him. You would know his
took a lot of
policies.
space in
This
the
is hold on
room.
one second. This is the one thing that I think people are forgetting. Before he became involved in politics, he was a community organizer, not just not just a city one, but around the country. This is a bigger reason of why he was able to get into politics and be able to garner the crowds that he did. So you might not have known him directly, but you absolutely would have known his policies, everything that he was working on. This is and so I get it when they say like, oh, they wouldn't know who he was. They would. I'm telling you right now, they absolutely would, because you know who he is now because of what he did previous to that. It wasn't like he just came out of nowhere. He literally was on the ground doing work first. And those people are the ones that helped to garner him into the state senate. Those people are the ones that same people that helps to garner him into the national spotlight, which also connected him with the biggest the biggest labor movements in the city, SEIU. I'm sorry, in the country, like SEIU, ACLU, all of those people that helps him to push it over. So those are the same people that you guys have seen on the news 1,000 times. You would have known him for that. You wouldn't have known him for the politics, but I guarantee you would have known him for speaking up at all those labor events. That's the thing. This misconception about the fact of, and even when it comes to Michelle, she's a public allies, which is a part of AmeriCorps. And because he was the executive director of that. So, like, they were already based in community organizing. So, like I said, y'all might not have known them directly, but you damn sure would have known their policies, and you would have seen them at some point, and you would have seen them on multiple occasions. Same with Tamika Mallory and all those kinds of people. This whole thing about the fact that if he wouldn't have become senator, he wouldn't be nothing. If she wouldn't have, or either one of them would have, that's BS, because they were already doing the work. Everybody didn't know they were doing the work. Go ahead.
Yeah, so you have community organizers all over the country, and some that have been
Absolutely.
community organizing way longer than he was before he actually got
Absolutely.
started doing
Yes,
that. So
most definitely.
in Chicago, where he was doing his community organizing, because he wasn't doing it around the country, it was based in Chicago. Then yes, he's known there as a person who went to Congress in the time frame that he spent there. You know about whatever little legislation that he created, but you have plenty of members that was in Congress much longer than he did,
Absolutely.
that created way more legislation
Most
than
definitely.
he actually created while he was there. So
Yes.
again, he was known within Chicago in that realm. He was not known outside of Chicago.
In the
Right. Like
community
bring him
organizing world, he
back
was known
five years.
nationally.
He is.
But go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
In the community organizing world, he was known nationally. It was just part. I'm telling you, like, because he was part of the labor movements that are national movements.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happened. That's what pushed him, because he might have been known here, but he was known to those movements that are national movements, which is
I
what
mean,
pushed him to
again,
get to that
that's
spot.
like any community organizer, anybody running
Hmm.
for Congress for that matter, or any elected position that dealt with union members and stuff. They had the local
Absolutely.
union or Teamster unions that supported a national union. So again, so you have plenty of people who did exactly what he did, and you don't know who they are.
I'm still gonna say, but y'all wouldn't know who he was. If he hadn't done any community organizing, you wouldn't even know who he was. He wouldn't have even had the he wouldn't even been able to run. He wouldn't even wanted to run. Because he did the community organizing is what made him run. Well, most people that are getting into community organizing start to run because we get tired of dealing with people that ain't doing shit. So they're like, okay, well, if I can do that job better. That's usually how that works. But go ahead.
But like I said, that's community organizers around the country and what have that
Hmm.
do that follow the same blueprint that he followed and what have
Absolutely.
you. And what actually made him known was the fact that he was able to speak at the prior convention and
Yeah.
stuff. And
Yep.
when he was able to give that keynote speech, that's when people kind of like, oh, who's that guy?
Yep.
And that was it and
Agreed.
stuff. And then he ran for Senate. But that's what made him known to some people, still not to everyone. Because even when he ran for the presidency, the main question was like, who is he?
Okay.
Where did he
Yep.
come from? So
Hmm.
people still on the largest number did not know who he was after all of that.
But but those relationships that he built during community organizing got him over. Telling you now, that's what
Well,
got
and
him
to
over.
the greater point to the conversation for the Obama part, but then we go to the Michelle thing. No one's definitely known who Michelle is without Barack becoming president.
That's a
I think it's
fact.
safe to say we wouldn't know neither one of them if it wasn't for him. Hello.
Yes, very
It's
Exactly.
safe,
safe to
extremely
say
safe
we
to
Exactly.
say.
all. It's safe to say we all don't know because he ended up becoming president. We all don't know. So can we just
Her
move on?
professional circles, people would know
Goodness
her, but an
gracious.
average person in America or elsewhere will never know her.
Let's
Yep,
just
that's
move
the
on.
misogyny in you.
It's
Let
not misogyny.
Let's just move on because
I respect you, Rachel or Michelle or
let's.
whoever. I respect you, right?
No, you don't,
So
sir.
you most of the time you say facts, but today is not your day.
Okay, in your opinion.
Yeah, let's just move on. This is painful. So let's move on to another topic, please. For the love of God.
Okay, I'm gonna let y'all have it. I'm going to bed. Good night.
Marty
Good
Poopo.
night.
It actually wasn't
Good
painful.
Good
night,
night,
What was
Rochelle.
Michelle.
Have a sweet dreams. Dream about
what
me,
was
all right?
what was
It'll
just
never
Did he
displayed
happen.
say, did he
here?
say dream about me, Michelle?
Hey, listen,
It'll
what was
never
just
happen, Danny.
displayed here is that you had men
Yeah, I just
sticking up
leave.
for
I'm
men,
with
Dream
you.
about
I'm
me.
and
I'll
you
with
take
you
had
care of
there.
you.
women
I'm leaving
sticking up for
misogynist to
women,
their
bro.
own stuff.
That's what just got displayed here right
I wasn't sticking up for Michelle.
now.
Yeah, I'll
Don.
leave the misogynists to their own business. You guys have a great night.
Have a good night.
You
Take care.
too.
Good night.
Zero misogynist on this stage, by the way.
Danny, I can't believe this conversation is still going on.
I was like, we should have done this a long time ago. Because the fact is, we don't know. Maybe Michelle would have had some type of big old, I don't know, done something monumental and gained fame in a whole nother way. Like,
Wait,
same with
Michelle's got
Barack.
a big old what?
Could have done
But
something
but but
so
but
spectacular that she gained fame.
she won't be known internationally. She won't be known.
Okay, but we don't know. Again, this is in the past. It's like we could speculate all day. But thing is, Barack Obama became president, and now we know Michelle from Barack, and it is what it is. So let's talk about something else. Now y'all on me.
Did y'all hear about that crypto bill getting shut down?
Mike, you trying to start fights again?
No, I don't like fights. Come on.
Why did it get shut down?
There was that crypto bill where they were trying to make the stable coins like actual currency or whatever. And I guess the bill was going to happen. There's like 5 Democratic senators who were on board. And then, like right when it was about to go through, I guess they all went against it, and it didn't get passed. And it was going to like regulate the cryptocurrencies. It was a big crypto bill that was going to go through, which would basically make like when you go to a store to buy something, you can use crypto. You don't have to just use cash or a card. You can use crypto, and they shut it down. And I guess it's getting a lot of flack.
That's interesting to think about. Do you think the world would be like better off? Everybody using crypto and cash and stuff just being thrown out the window? I wonder.
I think so.
Keep using cash. You have to keep using cash as long as you can.
I'm about to say all these people in the Santa. And are you in Los Angeles or no?
I'm in the Inland Empire, but I'm in Los
Oh.
Angeles.
I was about to say all these people
Constance.
on Santee Street, you can only pay in cash. All of them will be out without a job. I don't know how that's gonna work.
What street?
Santee Street. You ever heard of what's it called? It's a whole street where a bunch of people are selling like goods and services. I forgot what it's called. The Santee Alley. You heard of that?
Oh
The Santee Alley?
yeah,
Yeah.
I went once ages ago. It just wasn't my cup of tea for some reason. I haven't been there in years though. You like it?
I get a lot of my fabrics and stuff from there for my lingerie line. I like them.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
What's it, like a
I
secondhand market kind of thing, or
Yeah, I'd say
kind
so.
of wholesale too, right?
Mm, kind of. I think a lot of them are there. They sell a lot of. They do sell knockoffs over there.
like a flea market?
It's like a flea market. Yeah, that's more what I would say.
It's in the garment district, right?
Can you buy weed?
hmm I haven't seen weed, but maybe.
Danny, I know people who've been going there for years and they get really cute stuff. When I went, maybe I just don't have certain flair of style, but I didn't find anything. But my friends do come back with cute stuff.
It's cheap. It really is. Their fabrics are good, but I don't know. Like if you go straight for the fabrics, but like a lot of their clothes already made, they're so bad quality. I remember I got some shoes there one time, and it broke the first time I wore them. The strap. I was so pissed, but yeah. I mean,
Place
it's
sounds
cute. It's
boring.
cute, but it's don't go there if you want high quality stuff. Obviously,
Yeah, I'm not gonna put it on my bucket list.
Why, Mike? Are you out in LA area?
No, I'm as far away from LA as you can get.
they get a lot of
Florida?
tourists though. A lot of tourists love it. Good food. I will say that. But we have good food everywhere.
I like LA. I do. I mean, I've been going there since I was a kid, but um, you just got to know where to go. That's what it is. With LA, you have to know where to go.
I was going to Hawaii and I flew into LAX and I went outside and smoked a cigarette. I don't know if that counts as being in LA, but that's about all as LA I got.
Smoking a cigarette? Shame on you again.
This is a while
Right.
ago. I wanted to smell the fog, to smell the smog in LA, so I wanted to go outside.
No, we don't have smog anymore. That was in the
Yeah.
70s.
Yeah, when did that happen? I don't see smog
What
here.
about in like 2010?
I don't think so. I don't know. I mean, it is a
Then the
city,
motherfuckers,
but
they lied to me. God damn it.
they probably did. It was in the 70s and 80s was pretty bad, but then I think they said it's why they changed why our gas is so expensive because they changed like the grade of it or something. I don't know. Who knows?
Because the thing that California puts on it. Did you see the one dude, the video where the dude like lives on the border of California and Nevada or whatever? And the gas station in Nevada is like only like 5 miles from him. And he drives to California. He drives to Nevada to get gas because it's like $5 cheaper per gallon. It's something crazy. Because like in California, it was like $7 a gallon, and in Nevada, the little place, because it was like right out on the outskirts, it was like $3 and something cents. He's like, what the fuck? He's like, it's seven something in California. I go 5 miles down the street and it's only three. It's crazy. They
Yeah,
have all
there's
those
this
gas taxes.
yeah, there's this
California had way too many taxes. Way too many taxes.
there's this known spot in LA off La Brea, I believe, and has four gas stations on each corner. And to fill up my car, I used to always go to that one only because it was way cheaper than all other gas stations here. So,
Isn't that crazy how it adds up when you get the cheaper? Like it really does like
oh
add up.
yeah.
Fuck yeah.
It's sad to say, but I don't even look at the prices anymore. I just go to Chevron or Shell.
My dog, Anna's fucking banking.
You know what? I'm
Anne's
not.
like one of those people who's like, oh, is it payday? I didn't even know.
No, I'm not, but it's just like, why am I going to get all depressed about it? This is where I live. This is where I was born. I was raised. And there's no reason for me to just get upset about it because I don't think I have the power to change it. So
It
I
is
just,
what it is, huh?
yeah, yeah. I mean, trust me, I know what parts of towns to get it in, though. Um, like I live in the Inland Empire, which is like 55 miles away from LA. But um and I know where to go here to get cheaper gas, but honestly, by the time I need it, I have to go down the street anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Without
So
getting too personal here, Ann, you said you lived in LA your whole life, Ann?
I live inland.
I don't know what that means.
It's an area they call the Inland Empire. It's just inland. Like I'm
All
kind
right,
of
and like I don't want to ask you your age, but like, are you like an '80s, '90s baby kind of thing, or 2000s? Like you're like
oh
I'm
no.
40. I was born in the '80s.
No, I'm older than you.
Okay, so perfect. So when you were growing up in that area, and then to now, what do you think that like is it crazy different? Because when I talk to people from California, they're like, "Bro, California used to be so beautiful, so great, and now it's fucking crazy how different it is." Is there any truth to that?
Yeah, there's truth to that. Um for me it's more of like a lot more buildings, so in other words, a lot more people, a lot more homes. Um, and now with Instagram, like everybody knows all the secret spots because people go and they find them and then they announce them on Instagram. So um, it's different, but they're, with the homeless and all that, like, but everybody, a lot of people have those problems now. It's not just California. And it's different, but I think just everything evolves, sad to say. Um, I go to New Mexico a lot, and that's changed dramatically in the last 10 to 15 years. So, and it's a lot of the same problems, but it's, I guess, it's for me, it's kind of like don't believe the hype. Because if you don't live somewhere and people just tell you, oh, it's scary, or oh, this, or oh,
You
that,
don't really know, right?
yeah, you don't. And when you live here, like people are like, "Oh, I would never go out at, to 7-Eleven or something at 10 at night." And maybe I shouldn't, but I do. I don't even think twice about it. I just go. My eyes are always wide open, but I'm not really I don't really think about it. I just live my life.
I guess the person I was talking to, they were like, I guess they said like Times Square in New York is Manhattan's kind of getting like this. And they said like because he's from California, and he was like, dude, San Francisco and LA are like great American cities, and they're just not viewed that way anymore. And he's like, and it's a shame. He's like, because I know how beautiful the cities are, and I know what they can be. He's like, it's just so much different. And he was an older dude. He was like in his 60s. And he was like, man, this place in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s, he's like, it was fucking awesome. He's like, and now it just sucks. And I was like, man, I was like, I don't know, but so like San Francisco used to be such a great city. LA used to be such a great city. And now people are just like you said, the narrative is that it just sucks. It just sucks.
And maybe I think that because I am here, so sometimes things are happening around you, and it just kind of grows in you because it's just happening. You're living your daily life. But I do have to say that when I did go to San Francisco a few years back, it had dramatically changed from 10 years ago. Dramatic. And maybe I see it so dramatic because I don't live there daily. So I didn't, it's easier for me to judge it. But I still hopped on the cable cars. I still went to have a Mai Tai in Chinatown. Like, I still went down to the wharf. And so,
Yeah, he mentioned all the dude. What you just mentioned is literally what he mentioned. He used the word magical. He's like these places were literally magic. Like you come here and you don't even realize. Like the city just takes you over. He's like now. He's like they're just nothing like they used to be. He's like it's a shame. He's like tourists don't get to understand how crazy like that's what he said. He said magical. Like he said, like San Francisco and LA are like magical places in our country. And he's like, now I'm so upset with what they've become. And I was like, damn, bro.
well, I
I
will
think
tell you. Oh, go ahead.
no. Go ahead, Ann. I'll go after you.
No, real quick, I just wanted to say the one thing that's super noticeable about San Francisco is when I was a kid, my sister lived there, so we were there all the time. Her husband was in the military, and we were there all the time. So all those old places, they're all gone. They're all empty. All the restaurants. It was kind of mind blowing to me. But I, like I said, I just kept on living and did all the fun things I know how to do there, and um, there's still a lot of beauty there. But it's like any city. Um, California just has blown millions, maybe even billions of dollars on homeless, and nobody knows where the money's at. Nobody's accounting for it. And
Bring it out.
yeah, and I think that the whole fentanyl thing, you know, that's really ruined a lot of places for a lot of people. Like, it's just a sad state of affairs when you get to see that, you know. Today, I ran into these two guys and they were, doing that fentanyl bend or whatever. It's just really sad to see that. And I'm like, I don't know. But anyways, I still make the best of it when I went to San Francisco, and I still did all the fun things I know how to do, and went to some of my favorite places that were still there, but most of my old favorite places were long gone, even from just 10 years ago.
Yeah, I think so. What has gotten worse over the years? I've been in LA almost 7 years, but I'm originally from Virginia. But I speak to people that's lived here their whole lives or been here way longer than me. And it's more so the people that are here that it's getting a negative or it's gone downhill kind of vibe. Like you said, like LA is like the place everybody wants to come and it's everything. But I remember just walking in downtown, like people are so out of touch with reality. It's insane. And their mindsets are so like in the clouds. I remember there was somebody just recording themselves and not paying attention and walking, and they would have walked right into me if I hadn't gone around them. Like they're so careless and so, like I said, just out of touch with reality. It's kind of annoying, but also these people, they know how to get people like oh my gosh, they show like the homeless people in downtown and just those few little bad parts of Los Angeles, but Los Angeles is gorgeous. Beverly Hills, and there's nice places to go in downtown, really really nice, but people, like I said, shoot stuff to just make people you know emotional, whether it's super good or super bad, and I think that's where the bad energies come from. But LA is gorgeous. So funny, the people that stay talking ish seem to keep coming here. So they record the bad stuff, like I said, but then they enjoy their time on a rooftop sipping mimosas, enjoying the sun, the year round gorgeous weather. So it's just, again, it's too many people on social media giving it a bad rep, people that are visiting here and not living here or just lying about the whole situation. So yeah, it's more the people than, the city getting worse. Because actually, the people I've talked to that have been here for years, they said like downtown, that's where I live, it's gotten way better. Like the homeless people and the crackheads and everybody, it was way worse. And I think it's bad. So I could only imagine how bad it was. But they were like, no, these rooftops, these hidden clubs and stuff. There was nothing down here except like work buildings, and people would come to work and go home. Now you can go to a nice bar, like I said, a nice rooftop. They had nice restaurants out here. So yeah, it's actually the opposite. So that's very interesting, your perspective, Mike, or what you've been hearing.
Yeah, that's a good point. The narrative driven stuff, right? I mean, obviously, like people think of San Francisco and California and LA as shitholes now. That was interesting. You mentioned you were like, people are walking around, they're kind of out of their mind. You don't mean like drugged out of their minds. You mean like
That
oblivious.
too.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
That too.
they
I
it.
didn't
are.
want to say it, but yeah,
They are.
they're on drugs as well, very much so.
They are. And the fentanyl, the sad part about fentanyl is you can really tell because the people will be like, let's just say they were riding a bike and then they just suddenly stop, and then they'll just like be holding the bike, or they'll bend over and just be hanging on their bike, and they literally will be standing up straight, and they'll just be frozen. It's like now with fentanyl, you just see like a bunch of frozen people.
But is this viewed as like norm, and or is it like, is it kind of like you're walking down the street like, oh, there's another guy on fentanyl, or you're like, holy shit, there's a fucking dude drugged out of his mind? Because like if I was walking around where I live and I see some dude drugged out of his mind, I'd be like, yo, what the fuck?
Well, I
Was
think
this
you're
like
usually
so common? You guys are like, oh, there's just another fentanyl guy.
well. I think usually you see it in like maybe while you're driving in areas that are kind of known for that. But um, I go to downtown LA, and I mean I see what I see, but there's also nice areas that you don't see all that. So it just depends. It's just areas. It's just
Yeah, that's a
certain
good point.
areas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a fair
Like
point. Like my brother went to college in Dallas at SMU, and I'm from Little Rock, Arkansas. You know, it's the biggest town in Arkansas, but it's not necessarily a big town. And then like I remember we went to go visit him in Dallas, and it was the first time like I'd been to like a big city, which was Dallas, and I was a kid, right? My brother's 6 years older than me, so I was still young. And we're walking around Dallas, and there's like people sleeping on the side of the road, on the side of the building. And there's like another one. There's another one. I remember talking to my dad about it. He's like, yeah, they're homeless. You know, like this is a homeless person. And I guess like if you're in the big city like that, it's kind of just sad to say it becomes norm. Like it just be kind of they kind of gravitate to the big city. There's nothing you're gonna do about it. So I guess it kind of is like, to you guys, it's like, yeah, it just kind of happens because it's a big city. To everybody else, it's kind of like, whoa, it's wild. You know, like what are you gonna do? It's a big city. Like obviously, homeless people are gonna be there. Drugs are gonna be there. The place is gonna get crazy.
yeah, I think the saddest part for me is the drugs. Just to see people, just not even really able to care for themselves. It's just kind of sad.
But
So,
hold on, like Danny and like, is there any truth to this shit we hear? Like the homeless encampments we see, the needles all over the fucking place. Is there any truth to any of that? Like that shit's going
Yeah.
on, right?
Yeah, it's happened right outside my building. I've seen it. Yeah.
See, that's fucking nuts, Danny.
Mm-hmm. What's crazy was, in 2022, Joe Biden was here, staying at, I guess, one of the hotels in downtown LA, and they like cleared out all the homeless people. I don't know where they sent them. The whole time he was here, they were gone, and then immediately when he left, they were all back.
I heard they did that for the Academy Awards or something, or the Grant or Grammys or something.
Yeah, they send them somewhere. I remember, and roads were blocked off. It was insane. And it was so, I woke up, I walked outside, I was like, I thought I was in an alternate reality or something. But yeah,
Like,
but
where the fuck did all these people go?
yeah, because they're deep with it. Like I'm right by it. They're right outside all the time. But yeah, they shoot
Let's
them
go down a
away.
rabbit hole, Danny. Where do you think they went? Did they just sacrifice them all to Moloch or some shit?
I don't know. Conspiracy theorists be would say they sent them to some underground basement, gave them all the drugs and food
Drained
they
them of their
wanted.
adrenochrome?
Wait, what?
Drained them all of their adrenochrome?
I don't know about that. I don't know,
All
but
right,
I
I'm just
think
feeling the waters, just testing the waters.
yeah, they gave them something. They're crazy to go down there. Um, and it was like all y'all get out, and that's what happened.
What do
well,
what do
there
people
is
with children
underground.
do? Like, what do you do with your kids if you're walking down the street with your kids and there's fucking needles and homeless people all over the fucking place and drugged out people? Like,
They
can you
keep
just
them
not can you
close.
just not live in the city if you have a family?
It's
No, I see
crazy.
little
We
kids.
got
I
a
see little kids.
street in Boston. It's called Methadone Mile, and there's probably about 200 to 300 people every night on that camping out on that street, drugged up.
Every night?
You'll see it on every night. They'll have ambulance there. They'll OD on purpose,
Where do they get the drugs from?
and the police just leave them alone. Who the hell knows?
There's drug
Crazy people
dealers.
walking around naked. I saw that
There's
the other
drug
day.
dealers
What?
all over the place. There's drug dealers all over the place. They go to them. They go to them.
Is
Yeah,
this
there's
almost like one of those things? Like I live in South Florida when I moved down here, they had a thing called Marley Fest. It was like, it was Marley Fest, and Ziggy Marley would play there, or whatever. And like, you're not allowed to smoke weed. You're not, obviously it's illegal to smoke weed and stuff, smoke weed. But we'd go to the festival, and there'd be cops there, and we'd be smoking a blunt or whatever. And I guess the whole theory was that, like, all right, we're not going to stop everyone from smoking, but as long as you just like do it at the festival, do it here, whatever. Just, outside the gates, we're not doing this anymore. Is it kind of one of those things where, like, well, if they're gonna do it, just, I guess, do it here, like, and they just turn a blind eye to it, they're like, whatever, because that's crazy to me. Like, open drug use is crazy. Wouldn't y'all agree?
Well, like I
Yes.
said, that methadone mile, they have a needle exchange. I mean, yeah, Boston's doing needle exchanges and everything.
What do you mean needle
So,
exchange? Like, turn in your old
so
one, get a new one?
turn in your old one, get a new one.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, you'll get to be talking about it, man. But
You're
I've
in the
heard
Matrix, Kev, I think.
oh, can you hear me?
Well, you got to rewind like 2 sentences.
I'm up in New Hampshire right now, so I got bad service. But yeah, it's right next to a major children's hospital in Boston. That methadone mile. So
It's
I don't
fucking.
know.
Sad to say though, there's accounts on Instagram and different things that will show you like the reality of what's really happening. Just daily life. Some guy on Instagram shows his daily life in San Francisco. And according to him, which um, I just happened to run into his stuff the other day, but according to him, they moved them all from one area to another. I'm not sure why. I didn't go deep into his stuff because it's kind of depressing. But um, basically, they moved them from one section to another. So I don't know if they're giving another section a break. But um, I'm gonna go there pretty soon
Wait, what do
again.
you mean moved them? What do you mean?
Like she said, like Danny said, when they have occasions, they'll move them. We don't really know the process, but somehow, some way, they move a lot of people. So it
It's
happens everywhere.
like
If you
pack them
have
up.
a
It's crazy.
yeah, if I guess you'd have to sit there and watch it if you really want to know how it went down. But um, they just um, they just move
Because I mean, look,
them.
I do logistics for a living. Like, that sounds like a logistics nightmare if you think about it. Because when you look at some of those campments, bro,
Someone's
it's like
got to do
tent,
it.
tent, tent, tent. Some of those motherfuckers, they got kitchens and shit.
Oh yeah, they have kitchens. They have
Oh, they're very
barbecues.
innovative. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, they are.
Have built whole houses on the street. Like, huh? Grilling a fried
They
egg
got
on the
like guest
sidewalk.
rooms and everything.
I'm like, what? They have their own little community. They sure do. Stinks like hell, but it's their home.
Yeah, if you drive by, don't roll your window down.
Oh, it smells so bad. Oh my goodness.
Gross. It's so gross.
But yeah,
Yeah.
like the bad, I think the good outweighs the bad 100% here. Like I said, we have so many things. Like I enjoy like the last bookstore, the Pilates and yoga classes I go to, like just walking down the street, the beaches, the food, the Hollywood sign hike, like all these Beverly Hills, amazing restaurants down there, Rodeo Drive. Like it's really what you make out of it. Like also that Rachel said in the chat, like it's whoever shows it to you. And I kind of, my sister lived here before I moved here. She worked for Netflix. I got to see the movie side of it all firsthand. So I was just really into that. So yeah, there's bad parts in every city, but again, I think people just amplify the bad parts in LA. I don't know because. Like I said, people like to get people riled up and make things a bigger deal than it is. So,
I've never been to LA, but I'm willing to bet my left arm that there are zero homeless tents on Rodeo Drive.
none. Absolutely right.
Beverly Hills is beautiful, actually. Beverly
Gorgeous.
still the
They're
same.
not letting one of those fucking homeless tents on Rodeo, which means they could not allow it anywhere else. Is what I'm saying.
I think it just has to do with who's running the city, who's
Oh,
the police
now we're
force,
talking.
everything, you know?
Yeah,
Um,
downtown LA is like considered the ghetto. The ghetto part,
yeah.
the ghetto part to live in LA. I kind of agree, but I just love it's the place where all the studios also are and the fashion districts and everything else. Like a lot of business buildings are out here, so a lot of my modeling gigs they book these studios, so it's closest, it's most convenient for me to live here. But you're right, absolutely. It's up. The government absolutely could get rid of all the homeless people like they did for the president. It's just that costs money and money, that I think people who live in Beverly Hills are willing to pay, right, and taxes or whatever to make sure they're not in that area versus people that live in downtown don't want to pay that extra money. So yeah.
What's up, Rachel? Oh, I thought we had another fellow LAer. What do you say? Los Angeleser? How does that work? Los Angeline?
Yeah.
Angelino, Mike, I
Angelino.
don't know.
Angelino. That's right.
Um, if you were to come to LA right now, though, the only thing I recommend is, I mean, unless you want to sightsee, don't really head out to, where all the fires were, because it's just not pretty, It's kind of sad.
Yeah, celebrities are still taking videos of like the ashes and all the burnt um valuables that were in their
Wait,
houses.
there's zero rebuilding going on?
I think there's a little bit. I
Some
think
not, yeah.
not a lot, though. Not
But
like
it's
it was
still all
supposed to
just
be.
decimated? Like the whole place is still looking like it just caught on fire and shit? Like it still looks bad?
A lot of the places, yeah. Hmm.
Jesus, that's terrible.
Do you know who, oh, darn, Adam Carolla is?
Yeah, I know Adam Carolla.
Oh, look at his YouTube, and he'll show his place when he first went back after he was let in, and he's got a really interesting view. Um, that's he has a couple of videos. It's pretty good to watch if you want to see like firsthand. There's a lot of celebrities that do show a lot of videos.
And
I
Paris
just
Hilton, Janae Aiko just showed hers, I think. Yeah, you're right. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry to cut you off, Dan.
No, no, no. You know what's crazy is the previous week I had received a gift certificate for, it's called Rosie, Rosy Nails, and I had made an appointment, and then
Love that place.
and then um I had to cancel because I wasn't feeling well, and then I had made appointment for the following week, but then it was gone.
Well, that's the one other question. The follow up question I was going to ask you guys, like, because you mentioned the, I think Danny, you were talking about the yoga place and the other place you go to, and now the nail place. It almost becomes like a liability for a business to move into this kind of area. Like, what's the point? Like, why would they do it? They know it's going to stink outside their business. It's going to be hard to draw people because you can't really advertise because right outside your business is these tents. You can't put any shit out there because it's going to get destroyed. It's hard to bring. I don't know if the foot traffic is still as much as foot traffic as it used to be, but it's almost like it hurts the businesses. Am I wrong there?
It is hard with the businesses starting now. I've seen so many people, so many companies, brands, they started a store and then they end up closing in months. Absolutely. A lot of the brands that have survived have been around for dang near forever and developed their rep on like Instagram and social media. Because you're right.
Like,
Like,
would you put your business there?
well, I do. I mean, I have my I have my studio in downtown LA for my lingerie brand, and then I get my, like I said, I get my fabric from the Santee Alley. But yeah, downtown, um for walk-in traffic, because my store it's online, even though I have my office. I keep all my merch there, but everything gets sold online. It's a good place for, like I said, to get the fabrics and stuff, but if you have actual people walking in and stuff, it's way harder. But you mentioned tents and stuff. Again, it's a specific area. They call it Skid Row, more so, where all these tents are. They're not all throughout downtown. It's mainly just that area. So it's not as bad. There is foot traffic, but not a lot, but enough to keep a decent business running. I think it's just, times are tough,
Yeah.
and there's so many business out, there's so many different restaurants. So you gotta like have proper marketing on social media. You gotta build up your reputation, you know.
Yeah, marketing's big. Well, okay. This next question, and this you're to blame for this next question, by the way. This is not my fault. This is all your fault. So, what I'm about to ask you, you brought this on yourself.
Uh-oh.
Do you manufacture here?
I do.
My dog.
Hmm. What's the follow-up question?
Someone give this woman a holiday or a medal or something. No, great answer. That's how it should be done.
Yeah. I think, yeah, Americans should be manufacturing here. I like the fact that we get so much over from China, that everybody's but heard about these tariffs and everything. I'm like, oh, maybe Trump just wants Americans to be great Americans and rely on themselves for their successes and their wins and their money. So I don't see the problem in that. I get it. People want to benefit from other people,
How
but
easy is
again,
that? Right.
how easy is it? It's so easy. We have every resource to do so. So I don't get why people are so outraged.
Right. It's why, like, when I talk to people about it, and they're like, "Well, the overseas artists," I'm like, "Yo, I'm like, they have a choice. Like, you can choose to manufacture here. They choose to manufacture over there. That's what they do. It doesn't. It's not like they have to do it. They don't have to manufacture over there. It's crazy.
Absolutely. But I'm about to get off this. It was a great conversation with you guys. Good night.
If I'm
Night.
ever out in LA, I'll come look for you if you ever need like a lingerie model or something.
So, gotcha.
That's hilarious.
Hilarious. All right. Good night. Good night, Ann.
Good night. Yeah, Mark, like Rachel in the comments, obviously in LA, she said that they're cleaning it up, getting ready for the Olympics, which I don't know what year it's in,
Yeah, it's
26 or
coming up.
28.
That makes
Not
sense.
sure.
I could. It's coming up soon, ain't it?
Yeah. And there is probably in a lot of cities there's underground areas, but I
That's
don't
gotta
even go
piss
into
you
that
off,
stuff.
right, Ann? Like, doesn't that piss you off? Like, they clean it up for the Academy Awards. Bang, they clean it up for the dude from China came, the Xi Jinping guy. He came. They cleaned it all up. Uh, Danny was talking about how they cleaned it up for the one thing. Now they're cleaning up for the Olympics. That means they could always have it clean. You could just always be cleaning it up. Like, you don't. It's like they just only want to do it. And remember Gavin Newsom? They asked Gavin Newsom about it. He's like, "Well, if someone's coming over to your house, don't you clean up your house first?" It's like, well, bro, doesn't mean you don't always have to have your house clean. Like, what are we talking about?
Well, I think homelessness, as far as not the people, who are homeless, but the supposed, want to help the people and this and that. I think they're just it would be a big task in itself, right? Like you said, logistics. But I think it's turned into more of like a cash business because the government gives you money to you know fight it, and then that money goes to supposed um, what do you call those
NGO,
nonprofits?
the
But
nonprofits, NGOs,
they
yeah.
literally cannot. They they literally are not able to confirm where all the money went that they got, and that's a shame to me. But that's I don't even want to go in there because it just starts to talk about the government. But um, for me, my friend, she's works at one of the main psych hospitals, and she just says, it really, like, what came first, the chicken or the egg, right? Like, was the person taking drugs because they were having mental health problems, or were they having mental health, or vice versa, right? Like, are they having mental health problems now because their brains altered from the drug or whatever? So she just says, because it was Reagan who took away the places for mental health, right? So where do those people go? They go onto the street, and I have a cousin who is right now dealing with that, and her family doesn't want to understand that it's totally mental health, and they don't want to help her because they think that she's just doing this stuff and blah blah blah. But she's up in San Jose, so we're kind of far away. But I can see I can see how people can end up on the streets when no family cares, right? Nobody cares to recognize that she's bipolar or whatever her diagnosis is. And so nobody cares. Nobody wants anything to do with her. I don't know if she's burned her bridges. Like, it's a lot going on there, right? But I can see how people do end up on the streets when her dad died, the mom couldn't handle it, up and sold the house and moved to with her other daughter to Texas. So this girl, yeah, she's a grown adult. She's 42, I think, but she's had a break and really cannot take care of herself. So she keeps getting jailed and this and that. So I guess what I'm just trying to say is what I already said basically, which is it's turned into a business, and I think you have to deal with the addiction and the psych problems. And even if you save 5 people out of all those people, because I believe that people can be saved, but even if you just saved 5 of them, isn't that better than none? Because the things that she sees on her way to work every day, she just said, if you ever were to see me like that, can you like call 911 and get me 5150'd, get me help, because who do these people have to turn to? And if everybody just leaves them on the street and lets them do things that my friend has seen, she says, I don't want to live like that. But if no one's willing to help me, how can I help myself? So it's just really a sad state of affairs. And Rachel said that the Olympics are in 2028 in the chat.
Oh, that's when Trump's going to be running for re-election.
No, he's not.
No.
But,
All right. So what?
it's just, I don't even know. Like, we're having this discussion about homeless, and like Rachel said in the comments, basically, let's see, she said something like, the experience you have in LA is totally dependent upon who shows it to you. Some places you have no need to be or see. And I totally agree with that. Like, I, if you came to visit, let's say you're my cousin, you've been in Florida all your life, and you said, hey, I'm going to come down. I'm finally making it to LA, let's do some fun things. I'm going to take you to all the really cool places. I'm not taking you to downtown to see how bad it is or whatever. Like,
But,
you can
but
look on the internet and find all that stuff. It's real easy to find, and it's live cameras and you name it, you know?
and agreed. I agree with you. That's. I mean, yeah. If you got someone to show you around the place, of course. But I mean, okay. I'm not banging on LA, right? I've never been there. The only thing, like I said, when I was talking to that guy about it sounded sad. He's like, "Dude, LA is one of the most magical cities our country had, and it's just not the same anymore." And I still have never been there. But I would say, like, if someone goes there and they don't have a cousin who lives there, they don't have someone that can show them around, and they just so happen to stumble into the wrong area. I mean, that sucks. You know what I mean? Like that's fucking that sucks ass. And you got to worry about where you end up. Now I know it's a big city, right? That's just how big cities work, right? I get it. Like that's how New York works and all that shit, right? Like I understand it, but I don't know. Obviously, right? She's like Rachel's right. If you have someone to show you around, they'll show you the best parts of it, and you'll be like, "Holy shit, this place is fucking awesome." Like I'll get that. I get that. I understand. It makes sense. But to your homeless scenario, and for that young lady, yeah, it's awful. But I will say this, Anne, and I firmly believe this: you need to make it inconvenient to be homeless. It needs to be as inconvenient as possible. And if you got to build shelters, you build the shelters, but you don't have people just going to the shelters taking advantage of it. If you want to live in this shelter because you're homeless, whatever your circumstances is, every morning you got to wake up. Every morning you got to go, and you either got to if you're not going to go look for a job because you're not there yet, then you got to go and do some city work, right? Clean up the streets, fucking do some meter shit, do something, right? But you got to work, and then you can come and you can stay back here and we're not going to pay you because basically you're getting to live for free at a shelter. So that's your payment. If you want to go and start earning some money, clean yourself up, get sober, and get yourself a job. You can work wherever you want. There are plenty of places you can work at that you can now work yourself up. Bang, we'll vouch for you, saying that he's been in the shelter for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks now. We'll vouch for you. And then you got to go. But you got to make it as inconvenient as possible to be homeless. Does that make sense? It can't just be like accepted.
Yeah. Again, it's such a big problem now that um like my friend, she's getting ready to retire, and she said she wants to try to get on some committees to try to really, you know, find out what's going on and why these, maybe she could help make it a more serious issue. But like she said, it really is, you have to have facilities to be able to take them to have them detox, to have them be properly vetted, do they have psychological problems and things like that, because it's so complicated, and
Yeah, but
like I
they got
said,
at some point they got to help themselves, right, Ann? Like I get it.
yes,
Right?
but
Sucks when you have no one to turn to, but at some point it's like
you
yo,
do, but you do, and some do. On the way to out where I live, on the way to Palm Springs, there's a little um place that it's kind of by the freeway. You could actually see it, and I think there's probably like maybe 20 little teeny. They're not even homes per se. They're like, I don't know. There's probably maybe enough room in there for maybe a twin bed and maybe an end table or something, right? And it's super clean. And then they have like a little um, manufactured type area where you could tell that it's probably showers and stuff. And I don't know if they have them go out and work or what kind of things they have to do in order to stay there. But there are people who truly do need and want the help. But sometimes a lot of people don't get the resources, because we can't expect people to find their own resources. I mean, some are going to because they can, but there's going to be a lot of other ones who can't find those resources because they're kind of um, they're just kind of out there, and I think, like I said, for me it's crystal clear now to watch my she's my third cousin. um, Her grandmother was my first cousin, so to now not watch her per se, because it's my cousin, which is her aunt, that fills me in. um, she Just to hear her story and how she keeps getting arrested and this and that and this and that, and we in our minds think, snap out of it, right? Like, just do the right thing. And I think, I believe that if she could, she would. You know, she's lost everything she's had, and she's a hard worker. She's always had a job. She's always done well. But I think the death of her father just took her over the edge. I think this has been boiling inside of her since she was probably a child, you know, this mental health issues. And so yeah, I mean, I think you have to want to, and I believe there are a lot of success stories, and I believe that there are people who just get the proper mentor and the proper help and the proper guidance. And my thought process is always, well, why can't you do that for everybody? You know? So I don't know. We could talk about this all night, I guess, but I feel like hers just opened me to see that since nobody cares about her and everybody, she's basically burned her bridge with all the family members, and they don't want to recognize that it's totally mental health, and she's not able to function unless she's on her. Because because she finally just got diagnosed and they put her on the meds, they gave her these shots. She was doing really well, but then she met this guy, and then that, you know, hormones are raging, and you know, he promises you this and promises you that, and so then she falls off the rail. Well, she's going to fall off if she wants to, but
That's
there's
her
no way
fault.
to cut it. It is, but psychological. I'm not making excuses for her. Trust me. I'm kind of a tough love kind of girl, but um, this for me has kind of opened my eyes to see how it can begin. And so she is homeless now. She got out of. She broke her brother's front window because was having an episode. She just threw a big old rock in front of this plate glass window, and she got arrested. And um, that's when she finally got diagnosed with um, bipolar. I don't know if it's schizophrenia or bipolar, if they're the same thing. I don't really know. But that's when I really started to see that because her mom moved out, and the sister won't let her come to Texas. So her child, she tried to go back to her childhood home, not knowing when she got out of jail that her mom sold it. So yeah, it's just wild. So yeah, I mean, it's easy for us to sit on the sidelines and say, you know, what they can do, but it's what they're capable of, and that's what these millions or billion or whatever they give LA. That's what that money's there for. But why is the problem still happening? That's
Well,
my
that's the
question,
thing.
and that's my
That's
friend's
right.
question.
It's a great question, Ann, and that's the part where people that are on my side of this, where like you mentioned earlier, it's like it's really who's in control of this place and like what's going on here, and it almost stands to reason because I agree with what you said. It almost stands to reason that the more the homeless problem gets out of hand, the more millions they get, and the more millions they don't give to homeless, which means the homeless population gets bigger and bigger, and they're getting more and more and more. It's like it doesn't make sense financially for them to fix it because it's gotten so big, and that's crazy. Why would they fix it? They'll lose a revenue